Hello, good evening everyone, and a very warm welcome to another live stream with me, 320 Sim Pilots. Great to have you all here. I hope you're all doing very well. Today we are finally back in the JustFlight BAE 146 for XP11, and we're going to be taking it for a relatively short flight, about 1 hour and 20 flight time from Jersey up towards Newcastle. It's not a very quick aeroplane, so that would explain that one. But we're going to set it up from cold and dark. We've got the new update to this, so we have the new FMS. That's the sort of the difference for this stream. I couldn't resist. We're back in the Flybe colour scheme. I searched through all the others, but I really wanted to go back in the Flybe one. So we're going to be Jersey 291 for this flight as we head up towards Newcastle. At the other end at Newcastle, we have Orbex's Newcastle scenery, which is very nice. So thank you to Orbex for sending that over. So we have seen it before on the channel. It's very good. So yeah, really excited for this one. I've been desperate to get back in the 146. It just hasn't happened. We've been busy with lots of different things, but this should be good fun. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you all for coming along this evening. Let me jump into the chat and we'll do the hellos. So Tim, good to see you. Thank you very much for coming along. And Alex Van der Paz. Jig Point, I hope you're doing well. Jig Point will be watching a bit later. No problem at all. Is Approved Planets, good to see you. Marcel Dupree, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming along. Lauren V, thanks for coming and moderating. I don't think we'll reach 50k. A lot of excitement that we're getting close to 50,000 subscribers. I would be very surprised today, judging by the normal rate of subscriptions. So I think it's coming. We're a few days away, but probably not today. Danny Adams, good to see you. Richard V, thanks for coming and moderating, as you have so many times over the last year and a half, really. Dana J. Suresh, I hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining us. Rosny134, hello to you. Ryan. Crunchwrap, Joe Vaughan, Wide Womble, it's just for the first hour. Excellent, thanks for coming along. AC455, thanks for coming and moderating, and Andy H132 as well. Yeah, great to have you all here. William Shaw is in New Jersey, great to see you. Thanks for coming along. Bacon Warrior, good to see you again, and Duncan Clary, great to see you, and Gonzalo from Chile, excellent. I hope you're doing very well over in Chile. There's the advantage of streaming. We're streaming slightly later tonight, but the good news is a few more people can hopefully join in. Andy H1302 says, I do miss Flybe. Birmingham isn't the same without the Q400s. I know, and we're soon going to have a Q400 in X-Plane, it seems. I don't know what the date is. If anyone knows, do let me know. I understand Q8 Pilot does have the secret to that, so hopefully we'll find out soon. Because yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that one and taking it for a spin. I do have the old one, but I've not really touched it because there's been so many airplanes. And now we're all looking forward to the version 2. So excited for that one. But yeah, good to see you all here. Thank you all for coming along. Let me jump over to Twitch. We're streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. So yeah, you are welcome to join us on either platform. Igloofu, I hope you're doing well. This was a huge surprise. Excellent. I'm glad it was. Blueberry King, good to see you again over on Twitch. Great to have you here, and the Gobi as well. Great to see you all. Sorry if I missed anyone. My chat's slightly behind. So as before, you are welcome to stream this on either platform. And I will be reading the chat from both, so yeah, I'll see it all. But thank you to Travelino Blog for following, and Pumpkin Eyes. Thanks to Flick for subscribing, and thanks to Carida93 for following, and Steve Ellis. Right, I think we are there. So, J-Lust is in Belgium. Hello to you. Good to see you. Aviation Forever, good to see you again as well. Great to have you here. Right. Here we go then. Now, this is a bit of a last-minute stream, and I'm going to say my usual excuses, which is that I haven't flown this for a while. I didn't get round to a practice flight or anything like that. I just spent a bit of time updating it to get us the new FMS. So now we can fly RNAV stuff as well. Now, we could do this all using the old radio nav aids, but we did that on the DC6 stream, which was my last stream, so that's my excuse for being lazy, and I wanted to just try it out with LNAV. I know, of course, we do have viewers who are a little bit intimidated by flying full procedural approaches and SIDS and stars, especially when it involves just VOR tracking, because tracking takes a little while to get your head around. I do have a video on my channel, as I always say, if anyone would like help with that. But by adding the custom FMS to this, hopefully this is now more accessible to those of you who'd like to fly with LNAV available, which I completely understand. That's what we do day to day, and it's now available on this aircraft, as it would have been on the later versions of this airplane, because you need RNAV capability really to fly around in Europe in the last days of the 146. Although I think there are still a couple around. But yeah, so there we go. So A35K Captain, good to see you. Good evening. Thanks for coming along. And who else we got? Travelino Blog. Yeah, we got the new FMS indeed today. And 1903, good to see you. Right, I don't know what the weather is. I'm not sure. It's a very complicated route. By the way, we're using the Manta livery pack. So yeah, always excited to see that. There's our website on the passenger bus, which is excellent. Proudly next to the Flybe livery. We've got, there you go, there's a shuttle over there. There's an easy over there. Oh, we've been joined by a Russia. Sorry, Russia. That's not at all a lot, by a Polish lot. So that's great stuff. And yeah, Jersey, short runway. We're going to be pretty heavy to get out of here. I'm hoping the performance works. But yeah, so all very nice. We had good fun coming here last time, so I thought it was time we got the airplane back and underway. So this add-on, and this is a yeah, it's a complex add-on. It's got all the bits and bobs you'd expect. So we've got this little menu here. You can see we've got the FMSs, which you can adjust in the plugin FMC, and you can choose which one you want. So I've got custom UFMC. You do have to, if you do have this aircraft, you might end up loading in the FMC. Let me just go to the yoke, and then finding you don't have access to any SIDs or stars in the database. But there is instructions that show you that you need to actually install the database separately. It's not done through Navigraph, so or the X-Plane database is its own database. So that would explain that one. So be careful with that. Recommend 26 from Jersey, says 1903. That would make sense. Nicholas, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. It has been a while. Yeah, great to see you here. GD, I hope you're doing well. GD says, the A320 plane that sits on your PC, will it become available in your store? So that, in my last video, so those of you who haven't seen it, I've done a video recently where we, where I show the Thrustmaster TCA Captain's Pack, which Thrustmaster kindly sent over. If you watch that video, I have a link in there to a competition. If you're in the UK, you can enter a competition, or I say competition, it's a giveaway. So you can see all the terms and conditions on the link, and if you do that, you get yourself into a chance of winning that TCA Captain's Pack, because I already have all the parts of it effectively. So Thrustmaster gave it to me, so we agreed I could give it away, which is great. But in the start of that video, I show a model. That's actually a wooden model. It was custom made as a gift for me by a very close family member. So it's not going to be available on the store. I did look once at making models. I have discussed it before, but it's just too expensive to be practical for any small number. This was a one-off order effectively. But I don't think the demand would be there to actually get an order in to make it possible, really, unless they'd just be prohibitively expensive. That's what I expect to be the case. It doesn't mean they'll be like that forever, or we might find something, or we might be able to come up with a deal with a manufacturer if we think there's going to be enough interest. But for now, that's where we're at. Yeah, so Chris Patton, yeah, LNAV is now available. It is up here, so they've added it to the little pad, and there's LNAV. So I'm going to try it out. I haven't tried it out yet before. Right. Kiwi Mace, good to see you. Jack Jeffar, good to see you as well. And Kiwi Mace, I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Yeah, so sorry, GD. I would love to, I would, but sadly for now, we just have to wait and see, really. I might do a survey at some point and see how many people are interested, because that would give us a better idea. Kai, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Kai is flying Dalaman as per usual to London Gatwick on VATSIM. It feels like ages since I've been able to watch the stream. Great to have you here, Kai. I hope you're doing very well. And yeah, it has been a little while. So I've been flying a bit more at work, which is great. Still not as much as I'd like, but a bit more, and the news for the UK has been so much more positive for aviation in the last few weeks, so big steps forward there. Very, very pleased. It's been the first really good news the industry has had. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to sit here and talk about my hard times. I'm just trying to say that the industry's not had much good news over the last sort of 18 months, and finally the last few weeks it's changed quite a lot, so that's good stuff. So hopefully that keeps going. Right, what else was I saying? So yeah, we've got this. Excuse me. Don't know what I did there. What did I do there? I powered it up. Let me do that again. Oh dear. Right. Don't press that button. That's changing it between powered on and powered off. Let's leave the ground handling off. That was using a little ground handling overlay. Sorry, the ground handling add-on. But yeah, and here we can open up the doors. So that's all good. So let's open those up. And once that is open, you can press for the stairs and get those down. Great stuff. Nice landing. Yeah, it did go well, didn't it? And yeah, Chris047, I agree. I can't wait to show you guys the A340. I am indeed. Thank you to you guys, really. We are now lucky enough to be involved with the Toliss A340-600 Peter. So very happy and excited about that. Not much more I can say, really, I'm afraid. Right. Let us... sorry, I just lost my train of thought there by that happening. Let me just check the weights are all okay. Nope, that's not enough fuel. So let me put the fuel back up. I knew this would happen. Now it says we need 9 tons. We don't. We're going to go with 8 tons, which is already way too much, and 8 tons of cargo. There we go. Right. We've got match real world conditions. Good. Okay, that puts us in a good place. Steve99, thanks for your follow, and Carnival Master if I didn't say so. Right. Okay, that'll do for the airplane. So it's powered down. That's how we want it. Here we have the checklist. So we're going to run through this. I did have a little practice just to remember how to turn it on and off. So fingers crossed we can manage that again. So gear lever down. Radar is off and standby. The radars are nearly always in the same place in airplanes these days, he says. But this one is here. So that is off. Transponder to standby, which is over here. It's quite a modern transponder, actually. Air brake is in, which I've got hopefully assigned correctly. Flaps are up. Nav lights can come on, which are over here on this panel. Thank you, Robbie127, for your follow. Right, all the lights are over here, so we're going to put the nav lights. I'm going to put high intensity. I like those. Batteries on and checked, so that is down here. They go on and on. It comes to life. We get a voltage. Gear down, levers down. 3 greens are there. Brakes yellow and parks. There's 2 parking brake systems. In the Airbus, they swap over automatically, of course, but in this, it's manual. But we're on the yellow system there by having it in the line there. Master switches on. So master switches are all up here. Right. Master switches. Put them all on because I'll just forget them otherwise. Ground ignition, auto. Brake fans can go to auto. And we'll leave the anti-skid and lift spoilers as they are. That's the end of the master switches. Anti-skid and lift spoilers on. Oh, there we go. Lift spoilers on. On. Anti-skid should be on. Auto spoiler says it up anyway. Bus ties to auto. So down in the electrical panel, we'll put the bus ties. Oh, not that way. There we go. Bus ties, auto. Standby inverters armed and checked. Forward would be armed. Not sure how you check those, but there we go. Standby generator to arm. Where's the standby generator? Gen, APU gen. Standby inverter, standby generator. There we go. That is in arm. Standby inverter arm. There we go. And GD, thanks for your $6.88 donation. I really appreciate it. That's very kind. I hope you're doing very well. And yeah, thanks so much. If there is a message, do send it through, and I'll hopefully make sure I read it, or someone will point me in the right direction. But thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Thanks for coming along today. And yeah, sorry again about the model, but thanks so much for your very kind tip. And I hope you're doing very well. Aviation Forever says, are you going to be participating in Cross the Pond? Probably not. I'm not able to plan that much. Yeah. The EasyJet Saturn, I think there's an ATR over there, Wild One Ball. Jack Jeffer says, I've actually flown a Flybe RJ quite a few times. What a throwback. Yeah, good. Yeah, there's some good sound effects here. And he says, British industry at its finest. Not content with building Concorde, the world's fastest jet airliner. They went one better and built the 146, the world's slowest jet airliner. Yeah, exactly. Evening, John Padfield. Good to see you. I hope you're doing very well. Kai says, when are you back in the Beluga? Beluga will have to come at some point. Just got to fit it in, really. We've got so many things going on at the moment. It's really crazy. I know there's not too many videos and streams, but there's quite a lot going on in the background. So yeah. And thank you, Kai, for signing the petition. I do appreciate it. And indeed, Chris Patton, you may indeed one day hear me making an announcement and recognise the voice. It is possible. Right, let's go. So, Gen 1 and 4 off and checked. Weirdly, we have to have them off at this point. So they are both off. APU Gen can come on. And it's these weird 3-position rockers. Not very ergonomic. I don't know what pilots who flew this thought of them. They're hard in a simulator to tell which position they're in. I don't know what they're like in real life. Fire handles are in up here. Ground tests will say we've completed them. There are loads you can do. Look at this. Endless tests, horns. You know my thoughts on tests. I think engine fire tests you're allowed to do, but if your airplane requires all these other tests, they should have designed it to test itself. I say that purely since I got on the Airbus, which allows all of that. External AC on if required. No, we're going to go without it today. APU on. So we have to have the left inner tank on, then we can put the APU on, and it's really easy. I press start. Look at that. Up it goes. Super easy. Kai says, has anyone ever come up to you and asked and said, are you 320 sim pilot? No. Luckily not. Roy, good to see you. Lizzo5, great to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming and moderating. It's been a long time. Astro says, these tests should do themselves. You'll hate the Fido 747. Yes, I'm aware. The 747 Classic needed a lot of tests as well, I'm sure. And so will Concorde if we need to use it. APU is on. Master warnings we tested. Annunciators test. So that's down here. I've had this before where it won't tune. We won't worry about that. We have LNAV today. I'm wondering why I'm getting that back again. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Cabin emergency lights. Oh, arm. So the lights are all up on this panel. I think they're automatically armed or on. So I put them in the middle. There we go. Armed. They weren't automatic. Air conditioning as required. Let's go for a little bit of APU air. See all the valves moving around. And I'll give fresh air to the cabin. I will take the packs on for now. I'll regret that later when I forget. DC pump test. So this is talking about the hydraulics. So we're going to come over here and then go up here. DC pump. So you can do this by turning it on. What am I doing wrong here? I'm sure there was a way to do this. It doesn't have pressure. You put it to auto? Maybe you just have to hold it. Seems unlikely. I have managed that before. That's disappointing. I'll put it on the battery. No, but like, you see what I mean? This is a well-modelled add-on. AC pump in auto does power one hydraulic system, the yellow, and then if you turn on the PTU, it'll subsequently power up the green. I do like the fact it's yellow and green, just like the Airbus. That you can see how that transferred across. Right. Valeria, thanks for your follow. Ricardo dos Santos Nortman, hello to you. Thanks for coming along. All as well. Good to see you. Gav Jam says, hi, I just wondered about this. When you arrive at the airport, where do pilots park? Is there a dedicated place or something for staff? Depends on the airport. Is it far away? Normally. Yeah, it's not as good as, for example, short stay, usually. Anyway, right, let's turn off the PTU. That works. The PTU seems to be working. So we've done that on. So AC pump goes on. We've checked the PTU. Thrust levers config checked off. So they are in the off position. I'm sure I should do something else. And now AC pump and PTU can go off. So yeah, we checked those ourselves. Off and off. Good. Continuous ignition off. That will be down here. Somewhere. There it is. That's off. Engine anti-ice on. So you can see that although some people really like flying this airplane, the pilots I've spoken to flew it. But yeah, it's got a lot of checks, a lot of different systems in it. Right. Heaters off. Where's the other heaters? I assume it means these. So they're all off. Wing and tail ice protection off. Engine air off. That's over here. They need to be off for start. Flight deck emergency lights arm. Oh, no, not that one. That should be an auto. Flight deck emergency lights. Flight deck emergency lights. I have a horrible feeling we didn't find this last time I flew it. There they are. Arm. Control disc handles in. Not sure what that means. Yaw dampers both on. They're both on up there. And we come down here. Yaw damper 1 and 2. They are on. Autopilot off, which is the button next to it. Good. Before start, safety exterior checks are pretty much done, he says. So the APU is up and running. We're all boarded. Look at that. The good old X-Plane APU exhaust. Love it. It's a great visual model. This is one of the... this is up there as one of the best visual models in X-Plane 11, I would say. It's really, really good. They've just done such a good job on the texturing and the details and the antennas. Everything's so crisp. Looks really nice. Different metallic surfaces and yeah, and look at that exhaust sort of blasting out there. Very nice. A really, really good visual model on this one. And you get all 3 variants as well. So there we go. So what we're going to do is close up. Time to get underway. I love all the sound effects as well. Get rid of the chocks. We're on the APU now. Right, safety exterior checks complete. Brakes, yellow. Park pressure and temp. Thrust levers fueled off. Hydraulics all off. So hydraulic panel up here. Off, 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 off. Fuel panel checked and set. So I'm just going to turn all the pumps on at this point. Standby pump, I don't think we need those on. Common feed, I don't think we need that. Cross feed can be shut because they should all feed just from their own areas. Ricardo says, the Avro has 2 wings and 4 hair dryers. Exactly, yeah. And as Richard V says, while we're all getting comfortable for the departure, can I point out this aircraft is equipped with a modern and fully functional like button next to every seat. Thanks, Richard. Yeah, if you do or are enjoying the video, do please hit the like button. It does make a big difference to the channel, and I really appreciate it. Michael John says, evening, I really like the 146. It's a quirky aircraft. There's a lot of character in my opinion. As an aside, love the content of the channel. Manages to be both entertaining and informative. That's very kind, Michael. I'm really pleased to hear it. Thanks so much for coming along and saying so. Very kind. Hayden says, can someone send some dead rats to the hole, please? We have the chili sauce ready. Yeah, well, 168, yeah, that's definitely more than we can fit in this airplane. Speaking of which, have I shown you all the, I mean, look at the detail we have. I've never actually, I was literally just clicking that. I've never done that before, or unless I did on the last stream, I don't remember. But look at the detail in the texturing in the cockpit. It's really good. Wherever you look, and then you can go out to the cabin, and you get, let me know if the audio is okay. Can you guys hear that? Sort of the boarding and so on. It's just great. Really, really impressed. I've actually set up a couple of wing views because we have to have them. I thought that was quite nice. Get a good view of the 4 engines and then a nice view of the tail. Oh, sorry, the trailing edge. Anyway, let's close that door again. Don't need to hear all the screaming. Sometimes you can hear babies crying and things, and it is nice that we get to close that door, and even then you can hear some of the loudest babies through that door. Wonder where they grabbed the passenger audio, says Dan and Jay. Yeah, good question. I'm not sure. 1903 says that wing view brings back memories. Excellent. Mikey says, I'd like to give you kudos for teaching us all how to make more of the various Airbus planes in Microsoft Flight Simulator and Explain. Thanks for the informative videos. You're very welcome, Mikey. Thank you. Thanks for saying so. Toliss BSS sound packs have that too. You just have to turn the people volume up. Ah, very good. Yeah, I did have BSS, but then I went with the Toliss for the NEO because there wasn't a BSS NEO back at the time. Right, fuel panel checked and set. Pressurization checked and set. So that is over here. Now it's in auto mode. Do I need to set anything else? Altitude set, pull, barrow set. I feel like I can leave it in auto. Flight altitude. Do I set it for the flight altitude? We're going up to 22,000 feet. There? Does anyone know this? We'll see. Ice detect on. That's actually guarded and locked in the on position. That's there. Lights and notices set. So let's have beacon can come on. Leave the strobe off. Nav lights are on high. No smoking on. Entry off. I'll put the low risk, put the rest of them on. Where's the passenger seatbelts? I have a funny feeling it's set down here. Fasten belts on. Fuel's all on board. Air conditioning checked and set. So it's all going to be pretty much off for now. That's a bit cold, so let's put it somewhere a bit more reasonable before we cool down the cabin too much. Alright, fasten seatbelts on. Flow meters 0. Don't ask me. I'm assuming that's fuel flow 000. But that's not even the right one. Where's the fuel flow? Fuel flow's down here. They're all at 0. Now you can, I'm assuming the reason is you could have the number left over, so you can press that to reset it. There you go. So obviously you have to reset it after each flight. Fuel contents checked. We have plenty of fuel in the outer tanks and a little bit in the inner tank. Should be more than enough. If we need more than 8 tons of fuel to get to Newcastle, that's ridiculous. And it's no wonder this airplane isn't flying. Flight edge recorder set. Navigate, because that's over there. It's hidden over here. You have to put in the date and so on. Right, time to put in the QNH and so on. So let's bring up the charts. Echo, Golf, Juliet, Juliet. And I've just realised, I've been doing all of this quite happily. I haven't actually shown you what we're doing. So we're going from runway 26 today, which is also the better view, which is great news. So let's go to airports. There it is. We're going to taxi out, round the terminal, take off, full length, Alpha 1, obviously it's a short runway. And we're going to head out on the... Can you guys see that? Is that a bit small? Let me... There we go. On the Benix 5 Alpha? 5 Alpha? Yeah, that's what we had. Because we're going off sort of east to head up over France. So make a left turn out to Perch, then loose it. These could all be done. This is a non-RNAV, I think. Yeah, it's a normal SID, so it would be possible. But we're going to try and do it with the FMS, which I'm going to load up in just a moment. So that's the plan. No Avitab. There was a way to bring up... There it is. Ah, I knew there was a way to do this. Seats for takeoff, seats for landing. Arm the doors. Gross weight. We've got 8 tons of fuel. That's all good. And where's Avitab? Avitab. There we go. Yes. Ah, it's all coming back to me now. It's amazing how these things go out your mind. So let's go back to the... You know, this proves how long it's been since I've done a stream in X-Plane. Search. Is it? There it is. Right. QNH 1021. 14 degrees. So let's get that QNH set. Yeah, this is not going to be a very slick one, I'm afraid. 1021. 1021. That's why I chose a short flight, because I thought, oh, we should do a longer flight, and then I thought, probably not. Yeah, I'm going to be making a meal out of it. Cabin pressurization's over there. 1021 on here. Which should make about sense. 300 feet. That's good stuff. Alex UK, good to see you. J Coop says, hey, I just wanted to say I absolutely love your videos. I just started an aeronautical engineering study and your videos really helped me getting in the mind of a pilot. Thanks. You're very welcome, J Coop. Really appreciate it. Thanks for saying so and thanks for coming along. That's very, very kind. That's great to hear. Amazing. I love hearing the stories of the people who've been enjoying the videos. Right, we've done the QNH set, cross-checked, briefing to go. So before we go any further, let's load up the FMS and then do that. So we're on the FMC, we're on the 146-300 today, 2009 AirAC. It's a bit out of date, but it does work, which is good. Posinit, Echo, Golf, Juliet, Juliet, which is Jersey. We won't bother with the gate. I don't actually think I can see the number anywhere here. Our lot friend has already headed out. Can't blame them. But it seems to be GPS positioned anyway, so it looks like it's updated itself just fine. Route, Echo Golf Juliet, Juliet to Echo Golf number Tango. We're going to go from runway 26. A bit of a Boeing style FMC. So yeah, this is custom John Padfield, exactly. That's why I wanted to use this airplane just to see the latest update to this. E-Boss, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. Yeah, so runway 26. And we're going to be flight number Jersey, BE 291. There it goes. And the first officer's here to complain about that. We're going to activate that. And then, what happens if I go to the next page? Active legs. No, we won't worry about that for now. Got to be quite careful with this FMC. There we go, right. Depart, runway 26. And the FO's run away already. Benix 5 Alpha. Benix, routes, execute. Hope that worked. Legs, there we go. So from Benix, we want to take... How do I scroll? I don't remember. Golf 27. Not found. There's a good start. Why is that not found? Oh, there must be a way to do airways that I don't know. I normally spend ages practicing this. Can you not enter it in the legs? Yeah, there's the cat. Masters Golf, good to see you. Chris says, when are you flying the 737? Yeah, I'd love to fly the 737. I've got the Beluga and the 737 I need to fly again. I know. We just, with the things that I'm flying on streams, I'm sort of struggling to keep up with as many airplanes as we have. But yeah, 737-200 we will fly again. And the Zebo. Right, that's not working, and I don't know why. No doubt it's something I'm doing wrong. I have no concerns with that. Let's see if I can get the next point in. Kiki works, good. And how do I get to the next page? There it is. Kiki to Upper November 867. Not going to have that. Let's go to Avant. Skip the airway. Avant to Hemel. There must be something I'm doing wrong with the airways, because this is custom and I'm not doing it justice, so I do apologise. Well, we can manage with the waypoints anyway, and as you saw, it has the SIDS and stars, so the really challenging part, when you want it to take the strain for you, you can indeed do, and I'm sure there's a way to put airways in, and I just don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Executes. There's a lot of thinking. Now, you're not going to get a nice LNAV display to look at it, so this is one where you really do have to check it. So we're going to go to... Let's check it on our chart. Straight ahead to... it says 1800, but really it's a turn round to perch of 283 and then 114 to perch at 1800 feet. I'm not sure why it's 1800 feet. That'll be about 1500 feet above the runway. Oh, there it is. In fact, we can see why. Runway 26, climb straight ahead to at or above 1800 before turning. Great. Then it makes a left turn to perch and 099 to perch, turn left, 048, track to Lucid, cross at 5000, then 032, track to Benix. So I'm not going to put in the initial heading. I'm going to put 099 to perch, even though this says 114. I'm not sure why it says that. Must be as part of the intercept. So let's put in Nav 1 course. Does it really matter? I wonder. Well, the initial course was 099, and then after 099, 048. We're going to go to 5,000 feet. Love this wheel that you can just drag around. So we're going to level off initially at 5,000. Don't know why I can't get this to turn on. I feel like that should be working. Unless... I've had this before. Put it on active. Anyway, we're going to be using the LNAV, thankfully. And you can see this. Is that the reason? So I'm going to have HSI. You can have RNAV or NAV. Yeah. I'm going to have RNAV. NAV would just be VOR RLS. So we're going to have it set to RNAV, which is how we're going to use it in LNAV mode, I'm hoping. And we got the course bar not set. That didn't work at all, so it probably doesn't matter. Maybe it's going to tune itself. So that's the initial departure course. So hopefully that course bar will then swap over from the 283 it's on at the moment, which would make sense, and hopefully it'll automatically go towards perch. So that's good news. Right, what else do we need to do over here? Let's load in the gross weight, the CG, zero fuel weight, reserves, put it 4, and we're cruising at 220. Now, SimBrief didn't give me a cost index, so what happens if you press on to buy one more? Is that for this? Press. There you go. I'm so glad that I have you lot here when I when I stream. You know, I'd have probably restarted the sim 4 or 5 times before I finally gave up and googled it and found that, or watched maybe a YouTube video where someone else has done it. Thank you. A350 captain says, is anyone flying along today? Yeah. I don't know, actually. There's an EasyJet and there's a shuttle who are patiently waiting for me to actually figure out that I need to press buttons like on before we get going. Going to put in cost index 28. Let's do that. Why not? Oh, there you go. So planned 9.3. 17.5. Well, this must be, obviously this isn't in kilograms. This must be in pounds. I'm not going to get too upset or interested in that. Right, let's load up the data. So you can click on that to get the bugs to set, which is good news. I don't know why we need to put it into FMS. Let's do a full-on takeoff 30 because of the short runway. There's no terrain concern. So flap 30. Lo and behold. Well, they're different weights. Different speeds, sorry. 115 to rotate. This one says 113. Within 2 knots, I'm not going to get too upset. 121 as we climb away. Good stuff. Hopefully that means we're going to fit. I think that's done. We've done the legs, done the departure arrival. There's no secondary. Rad nav. Or nav rad. We can tune it ourselves. I see. And if I swap it over... Yeah. Oh, well, it's nicer to tune it up here. So, the VOR this is all based on is 1122. So, let's do it. Oh, dear. I can't believe that. On. We don't want to hold. Good. Flight director bars can come on. There they are. And what other mode should we be setting? I don't think I want to do anything else, really. We're going to take off. We're going to pitch to 15 degrees. And we've got the thrust management system. I'm going to power on. Temperature outside is 14 degrees. So if we leave it at 15, we'll get a slightly higher power setting. That's no problem. And I'm going to press takeoff. So 93.7. Good. Done the speeds, done the bugs, done the box. Starting. Right, finally. That took us 35 minutes, but we are ready to start up the airplane, which is great news. Thanks, DC9798, for your subscription. I hope you're doing well. Turning devices on increases their effectiveness quite a lot, says Mr. Banana. Yeah, exactly. Is Approved Planet says, hi, I'm new here. Make sure to carry on your channel doing such a great job. Thank you very much. It's Approved Planet. I have one question, as I'm so curious. What is LNAV or any other nav? LNAV stands for lateral navigation. So this mode is called lateral navigation. Normally we have to use heading and VOR lock and so on. But with this airplane now, we have lateral navigation, which just means lateral obviously being which way you're pointing over the ground. So it's your route. So lateral navigation allows us to follow this departure because it's just the lateral part, which means our left and right turns basically. Vertical navigation is how high we go. So that deals with our climbs and descents. So the two navs you'll hear about a lot are lateral nav and vertical nav, LNAV and VNAV. And that's what the two differences are. There is a VNAV mode in this, but I'm not sure how functional it is. And I mean that in the sense of the real aircraft as well. Right, let's take a look outside. How are we looking? Pretty good, actually. I think it's time to get the pushback tug over here. Don't want to infringe on EasyJet, so we'll go about there.
Ground to cockpit.
They're coming. Right, let's get started. APU Gen, external AC. Set. So we're on the APU Gen. Beacon on. I turned that on ages ago, actually. Way too early. Packs and APU Air off. So let's turn off the packs. And it says also APU Air off because we're going to use the APU. Engine anti-ice on. This really confuses me, but it needs us to turn on the engine anti-ice. I think they should be off, actually. Sorry, not there. Engine anti-ice is over here. For some reason, you've got ice protection and ice protection. So for some reason, engine ice has to be on. Must be something to do with helping the engines circulate air. I don't know. AC pumps can now come on. That's on down there. Fuel pumps on. They're all on. Start power norm. Start power is in the middle norm. Start master on. We power up the starting system. And start select engine X. So let's start engine number 4. And then engine start. Right, if there's anything like DC6, this won't go well. So number 4 selected, starter master's on, and all I have to do now is down here I have engine start. So I press start, then I look at engine number 4, I want to get to 15%. N2. By the way, we could set this 93.7, I could set this as a bug on here if I really wanted to. Anyway, through 15, and then we get in the right position. Click that down, lift it into the fuel on. We should see a fuel flow. There it goes. The DC6 starts with witchcraft, Chris Lewis. Yeah, I agree. We've had some fun doing that. And up it goes. Let's call the tag.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And let's just tune. Let me just check. Having done all this, and I'm going to find out that there's a controller here, and I'm going to be in big trouble. No. So we're definitely on a 1228 sort of day. Jersey traffic, Jersey 291 on the south apron, pushing back for runway 26. And engine start, that's what we're doing. Here comes the tug. And hopefully that's all gone well. It has. So dead easy, we'll swap to number 3 and we press start. And as I said before, you'd hope it's easy. Why are we getting the warning? Probably because I fiddle with the ice protection and so on. You'd hope it's easy when you have to do this. Imagine doing 4 sets a day. How many engine starts would you end up doing over a day in this airplane? You'd do sort of...
Okay, all doors and
well, you'd do a lot.
closed, ready to connect.
You'd do 16, wouldn't you? 16 engine starts, which is really quite something. Especially if you have to monitor them very carefully, each one. Because if the fuel goes in and it doesn't light up, or it does light up but it gets too hot because it doesn't reach self-sustaining speed, you know, it's a lot of work. Right, you can see how quickly... Oh, I didn't know I did that. Wrong one. Start, there we go. So yeah, it's nice and quick. Angry Brian is indeed angry. I sort of like Angry Brian. He reassures me. 15 and 2. Number 2.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Well, now I want to ignore him. And finally then, number 1, start. There it goes. Just about to see the tip of the propeller. The turbine. Not even a turbine, it's a compressor. The fan. And above 15. Click, click. Here comes the fuel. Engines are started. After start, I love these built-in checklists. They are such a joy. I know they're not exactly how the real checklist would be, but they're so useful for getting through airplanes you're not overly familiar with. And they're super satisfying because you feel like you've done it yourself. You just got to find all the switches the first time you run through them. That's done. So start power norm, what it already was. Start sector master off. So this goes off, this goes off. Engine anti-ice not required, so I'll leave those off. Generators on. Which, where's the generator panel? I've lost it. Here. On. Brake fans auto on. So I did that too early. Well, I'll leave them in auto. I love auto. Hydraulics on and checked. We take our engine pumps on. PTU off. DC pump off, I think, because we're just going to power it from the engines. Heaters on. So that's all these windscreens and so on. Anti-ice vanes. That should be automatic in my opinion. APU and engine air as required. So now we definitely have electrical power from the aircraft. And make sure you do have that. I'm going to turn off. Let's leave the APU generator on, I suppose, and let's just turn off the APU. Just stop. Straight away it's spooling down. Packs and cabin air as required. We'll have packs on. Cabin air fresh. I like that. I don't know what that means, but I like the sound of it. Fresh cabin air and ram air open. I've never flown an airliner where you can have ram air open. Ram air being the air just hitting the outside of the airplane, so that implies you've got lots of fresh air coming in, and I don't know how that works in an airplane that's pressurized, but normally that's only an option after you've depressurized the airplane. Obviously fresh air could mean fresh air from the engines. It doesn't, all airliners use a lot of fresh air from the engines, as it were, but 787 is the only one that uses actual fresh air, i.e. not heated up in the engines. TMS as required, 93.7. I was going to 91.5, don't know why, but there we go. Doors closed, done that. Ground equipment remove. Transponder, that's the one. So down here we can write in, it should be on transponder already, and then if I press ATC, we can type it in. Which those of you who had a T9 keyboard will remember the good old days of having to do everything like this. 2, 9, 1. Done. And then I'm going to put back to the squawk. We'll go with 2000. I like this well. Look, we can see the brake temperature. Let's test. How do I make it go on? There we go. They're only 20 degrees. Right. I'm sure you've all been sitting here enough. Any master warnings we've got now? Ice protection, parking brake, brake fans. That's fine. What's its ice protection concern? That looks better, doesn't it? Right, let's go. EasyJet's pushed. Sorry, EasyJet.
Starting pushback.
We will be ready to go pretty quickly. Transponder as required is set. I feel like the flaps should be included somewhere in here. Where are the flaps? Why aren't they? Oh, there you go. They're in the next one. So let's start this. Before takeoff, brakes, yellow and green checked. We will check that on the way out. Maybe do the flaps on the taxi out. 50 minutes late, says Brian. Yeah, we are. We are quite late for this one. Coronado said on Microsoft Flight Simulator, says Chris Lewis. Interesting. We haven't done GA for a little while. It's a bit of a shame. Come on, keep pushing, Brian. What would Brian have made of the on button debacle? Yeah, indeed. AC455 says, my printer has that kind of keyboard. I hate when it forgets the Wi-Fi. Oh, that must be tedious, yeah. A flying Nokia 3210, you say? Thanks, Wild Womble. Hopefully you'll be back at the rate we're getting through this. You may well be. No slats on this airplane. No room to fit them when you feel the leading edge with engines. What more can you do? Chunky airplane, isn't it? If that's a 320, this is a serious size, but it does hold, over 100 passengers. It's just very crowded, but it's a very, very serious airplane, you know. It can get quite heavy, over 40 tons.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Alright, brake set, as you can see, to the yellow.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
I can't, my air brake just doesn't seem to wake up, so that's the only thing concerning me slightly. On. Send the radios on. That helps as well. Right, there go the ground crew. I'm going to set the flaps because I don't like sitting here without them. Right, and they're running. While it does that, let's light everything up. Always better to have all the lights on. Where's the rest of the lights up here? Air low pressure on the green system. Little surprised by that. Right, flaps in the right place at 30-ish.
Disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Oh, I see. My axis is not quite tuned perfectly. There's 30. So it's a bit granular. It doesn't actually sit in detents. It seems to be able to move it a bit more specifically. Dave Hagen, good to see you. Nice West, good to see you as well. Yeah, that is very British. Seems to attract your ground controller 1219. Thanks very much. Jersey grounds. And they've got an ATIS. So let's just check the ATIS. I'll just see it on my screen. It's information Charlie. We've got runway news 26, as we would hope. Transition level 60. So we're climbing to 5,000 feet. Temperature's now 13, so going with 15 is no problem. In the TMS, we'll get a bit more thrust out of it. Oh no, hold on. No, that's not right. Normally you just do the pessimistic thing, but actually we need to set it correctly or we'll get too little power. It's normally when you're calculating performance you can do it the other way, but if you're using it to actually tell you the temperature, that's no good. So you can actually pop this up, which makes it a lot easier. 15, 15. How do I do that? 13, 12, there we go. Doesn't seem to make much difference. Good. So yeah, what have we got? Information Charlie, QNH 1012. Sorry, 1021, yeah, I was going to say. Jersey ground, Jersey 291 on the south apron, BA 146 300 with QNH 1021, request clearance Newcastle.
Cleared to Newcastle via Benix 5 Alpha departure, squawk 1235.
Clear to Newcastle, Benix 5 Alpha departure, squawk 1235, Jersey 291, and request taxi.
Jersey 291, route correct, and taxi to holding point Alpha 1 via taxiway Alpha.
Taxi to Alpha 1 via Alpha. Thank you, Jersey 291. Awesome. Right. 1, 2, 3, 5. No, that didn't work. 1, enter 2. 1, 2, 3, 5. Enter. There we go. Right, brakes released. Let's get out of the way. Someone's heading off to Gatwick. Right, let's do a little brake check. We're pretty heavy. We're not far off the max landing weights. Sorry, max takeoff weight for this airplane, which I'm hoping it will. Bit of a rev there. Right, brakes are working. Good news. Flaps selected, checked at 30. So at idle thrust, they really are hair dryers because at idle thrust it just grinds to a halt. Flight instruments checked. Flight director we've got on. If I press LNAV now, will it work? We get LNAV displayed. RNAV up there. LNAV, that's good news. Trims. Oh, that's a good question. Rudder trim 0. This is set in the green band. I hope that's okay. Aileron trim is set to neutral. That's fine. Config checked. Where's the config check button? Who can remind me where the config check button is? Vibration. That's the master warning system. Vibration test. Oh, I like the vibration test. You can press this and it moves all the needles. Yeah. And you can see how they're slightly different. So we've got a really good engine number 3, not vibrating much at all. Must be a taxi light somewhere I should turn on as well. Landing lights, screen, belts. Let's put runway lights on, that would do. Turn on all the lights. Right. Look at those flaps. Those are some serious flaps. Landing lights down is for taxi. Thanks, Morton. We'll do that in a moment. Sorry, EasyJet. This airplane's a bit heavier than I remembered. Oh, I might have turned on a few too many lights. It's getting a bit orange in here. Ah, there it is. Yeah, taxi. Perfect. Right, navigating transponder set. Briefing reviewed. Cont A and B. Well, it's not raining or anything. Cabin secure. Radar we don't need. AC pump goes on for takeoff. I'm so sorry to the Airbus behind, because the Airbus just rolls forward. Even when it's pretty heavy, when you release the brakes, it nearly always just goes forward. Lights and strobes. TMS is set. Controls. Let's do the controls. Now you can't actually see the controls moving on this thing. Oh, it's going off to the left just because of a glitch of my joystick, sadly. I need to get that sorted. But yeah, when you move the controls, you do get those roll spoilers, but that's about it. Otherwise, it's just trim tabs you're moving. Which I did show in my preview video for this. It's pretty cool, and it's quite impressive how they've modelled it. I was surprised to see it modelled so well, where only when there's airflow over the flight control surfaces do they actually move. All we're doing with these control checks is moving the trim tabs, which you can see there. You can see that yaw twitching. That's the nose wheel. I was hoping my air brake would be working, but it's not. Yeah, so that twitching. I had it fixed earlier, but it seems to have come back. A bit of a glitch in my joystick. Anyway, that's us ready to go.
A320 passes behind you right to left. Push and start approved.
10 knot ground speed. Not bad. Feels faster when you're in a low down airplane like this. Dash 8 was the same. Used to feel really fast. EasyJet plane had no shadow. Yeah, there's a few. It is only my VATSIM setup. Yeah, Flybe might be making a comeback in real life. I hope so. I do hope so. Anyway, controls checked. Next is after takeoff, so let's get rid of that for now. Instruments all look good otherwise. Flight director bars are on. So we're going to take off. We're going to put it into LNAV. I suppose I should arm alt. I feel like I should arm it. There we go. Unless that's an out capture mode. Well, we'll put it into IS once we're in the air. That'll be our climb. Love this aircraft. Has Ethan's Aviation. Yeah, me too. Really nice.
Easy 16 Whiskey Kilo, squawk 1244.
Oh, come on, joystick. It was behaving earlier.
Was that squawking 1244, Easy 16 Whiskey Kilo?
Yeah, so Danaja Suresh has the twitching as well.
Jersey 291, no further coverage, monitor Unicorn 122.8. Bye-bye.
1228, Jersey 291. Thanks for your help, bye.
Easy 654, no further
Right,
coverage.
over to 1228. Yeah, this twitching is, I almost had it fixed. I'm going to try updating all the software, but I have heard that there might be a bit of a hardware fix as well needed for it, which I'm willing to give a try at. Now this doesn't look much like Jersey. Oh, stop it. This is going to be bad for takeoff. I might have to remove that axis. Sorry to the EasyJet behind. I'm worried that once we set takeoff thrust, it's just going to heave itself off the runway with that nose wheel. At a certain speed it'll be alright, but if it does it at low speed, we'll find ourselves a bit unstuck. Ah, Flight Director Sim has the same issue. How funny. I do love all the flaps. That's great. Now, where has anyone found the config test for me? Config tests seem to be... There's no standardization. They are hidden anywhere in any airplane. Where Where could it be? Down here? I'm going to try revving the engines. See, it's not happy. Why isn't it happy? There's wires interfering with the twist sensor. I see. Someone said under the thrust levers. Can't see it. Oh, hold on. I think I can see config check. Excellent. Well done. Is there a way to curb taxi speed when running light? Often when in idle, my taxi speed creeps up. Yeah, in the Airbus, it does. That's just normal. One way is to do single engine taxi when you're really light. It does help. Saves you some brakes. Now, why is it not happy with the config? Flaps are at 30, which is an option, according to that little chart. Anyway, just going to set the brake. Let's see if we can figure this one out. Why is that? 30, that's fine.
Hi, Jersey 291, would you like to go in front of us?
Jersey 291, no, that's okay. You can go ahead of us and we'll go up shortly. We're just trying to solve something.
Roger, thank you very much. Jersey traffic is B654.
There we go, there goes the easy. What's going on then? What's going on? Why am I having this issue? Trims. Let's try that. Brakes released. No. Flaps. Should put them to 24. Aha! Right, it doesn't like the 30 flaps. Alright then. I don't know why it's on that card then. Let's click that. Let's go with the new numbers. So we're rotating at 122. Go a bit faster. I was going to say, they did look like an awful lot of flaps, but you can take off flap 3 on the Airbus. No, that still looks like a lot of flaps. So EasyJet's going ahead of us. Jersey traffic, Jersey 291 lining up, runway 26 behind the EasyJet. Reset flaps, they aren't at 30. Okay. Right, brakes release. If you do single engine taxi, when do you turn on the second engine? Just when you think it's going to have time to run before takeoff. I will do a video about it soon. I've been meaning to for a while. Anyway, we are now ready to go. So we're going to line up. No traffic on the approach. Let's put the transponder to TARA. Let's get the... How do I get the lights on? There we go. Lights on. Oh no, not the wipers. Well, if that doesn't look like someone who doesn't know how to fly this airplane. Oh good, they parked in roughly the right place. Oh, they seem to have 2 parking. Maybe you can park them up as well then. Interesting. And let's just hope it doesn't switch too much. Right, so rotating at 122. V2 127. EasyJet's gone and away. We'll give them just a minute before we follow them up. Let's get the menu out of the way. Yeah, you need a bit of thrust onto taxi in this one or it just grinds to a halt. And there's another EasyJet coming as well.
Jersey traffic, Easy 16, Whiskey Kilo, 1 short Alpha 1, runway 26.
They're going to head out shortly. Right, so we're just letting our friend get ahead. Let's get the legs up here. Let's hope it works. 800 feet left to 099 and then we'll work it out from there if we can. Thanks for follow to Reg.
Jersey traffic, EC654 passing 2,700, climbing 5,000, redirect touch.
I think that'll do. Jersey traffic, Jersey 291 taking off runway 26 on a Benix departure. Right, here we go. Wish us luck. So we should see that little blue arrow on the TMS. That means we need to advance the thrust lever so we get them in the range and then that light will go out and the airplane will automatically set them to the right thrust setting. So that's the good news. It's got sort of a very basic auto thrust system. Underway. That airspeed isn't climbing as fast as we'd like, eh? Come on. And we said 122. There we go. Rotate. Oof. You forget how short Jersey is. There's 10 degrees, 15 degrees, positive climb, gear up. It says I want 800 feet, so I don't know why it's gone off to the left. Let's trim it out. I'm going to press LNAV, which should be in front of us. I don't know why it's already turning left. Must have gone to the next waypoint, so I'm not going to do that just yet. 10 degrees is a bit low, although, to be fair, that's all the performance we're getting out of it. And away it goes. Love it. We're going to have to do this first turn ourselves, but I can see it's gone to, well, the course bar's changed around, so that's an optimistic sign it's going to work for us. 1800s. Round we go. Lower the nose. Okay, looks pretty reasonable. Let's try autopilots. Let's try IAS. And then I do have a TMS button where I can accelerate. Let's bring the flaps in a stage. Flaps to 18. In fact, let's go to vertical speed. And there's a lot of I forget the name of it now, but it's control wheel steering effectively. Now I'm going to press control wheel steering. It says sync. I lower the nose. I need to keep following the flight directors while I do that. It's very sensitive, this airplane. 1,000 feet per minute, and then I release it. And now, in VS mode, it should maintain 1,000 feet per minute. We've got 2,000 feet to go. Starting to get that flap howl. Okay, seems to be working. It's finding its way over. Excellent. Now, when can we retract the flaps? 181, it looks like. There's a slight tailwind on the socks. Yeah, there you go. Good spot. It was a very light wind in general. Right, flaps coming to 0. And it is manual thrust, so it's just going to stay at takeoff thrust until we bring it back. So let's level off at 5 and then see where we go. Here's that howl.
Traffic 16 kilo, everyone out from my G6 climbing.
1,000 feet to go. It's captured out, hopefully. It's lowering the nose. 250 knots. Thrust coming off. Oh, am I managing this? It's been a while. This was almost a pure Twitch stream because I was a bit nervous about my memory of this airplane. 300 feet to go. VS, LNAV, RNAV. So I'm expecting to see out appear up here. This is like your FMAs. Oh, I know why it won't. Because I didn't press out. You've got to actually tell it to level off. There it is. That's an old Dash 8 issue as well. Right, 250 knots, level, 5,000 feet. Stop sinking, please. I think it's because it's settled for a lower. Yeah, 4.9. Oh, no. Hopefully it stays there. I was thinking it's going to stay at 4.9 now, but 100 feet's okay. And thank you to Majaka for the follow, and to Matt51 and to Voice. And yeah, great to have you all join us. Okay. I think we got away with that. Heading downwind. Let's see if it turns at perch. 5,000 feet at Lucid. And Jersey traffic, Jersey 291 is now beyond downwind, just passing the waypoint perch. So yeah, that's great. LNAV works. All you got to do is set the mode switch here to RNAV, and then you can just press LNAV up here. Sorry, that's because I'm keep hitting my own joystick. You still need the control wheel steering to do the VS and so on. It's called the Whisper Jet, this airplane, because by having the 4 small engines, they had much quieter noise imprints on the airports around, so it should be relatively quiet. Now it's turning. Oh, this is great. What a joy. Well, it's time to go up to our cruise then. It's not a long flight, so I'll soon run out of time, as you will well know. So to do this, I'm going to climb at 250 knots. So if I do 22,000, I'm going to press IAS mode, and then I'm going to arm out. No? Do I just press IAS? Let's try that. and then I'm going to go to climb thrust. So I go to my thrust management system. I'm going to press, I think it's, I could do MCT. There's nothing wrong with it. You can go max continuous thrust the whole all day if you like, which is 85.7. So that's less than that. And then you see a little blue arrow where it wants me just to increase the throttle a tiny bit. And up we go. We're doing more than 85.7. So I would think we need to actually lower it a little bit. Not sure. It is adjusting them slightly. '86, '85, '82, '85. Number 3 engine is not behaving the same as the others. It's got lower vibration, but also it's just not spinning as fast. That might explain it. TMS to climb out. Yeah, so where is the climb button? I think at this point you press sync. Is sync good enough? Maybe that's the one we should be in. That's really taken the energy out of the climb. But it does synchronize them all together. So let's go for 82%. As long as the airplane can start climbing again. It doesn't have a lot of excess thrust, this machine, as you can see. What's going on? Does it not want to climb it? Oh, it's a bit fast, so let's press sync. And now if I raise the nose, you can see alt is white, therefore armed, which is good news. I'm going to raise the nose, get it climbing, and I get that speed back to 250, and hopefully it'll continue to climb at 250. Because we're almost doing 300 knots. The difference on that airspeed indicator between 250 and 300 is nothing. That's quite hard to read. It's because it's really trying to convert to Mach numbers there. Let's make sure we keep following the flight directors, because while you press sync, none of the axes are engaged. Because yeah, we're not going to climb at 300 knots in this machine, I know that much. Okay, let's try that. Hopefully that works. Okay, that's good. I had something else I wanted to do. I think a good idea here is to run the checklist. After takeoff, gear is up, lights are out, flaps are up and 0. TMS as required, we think so. Engine air on. I have a funny feeling we left that on. Oh no, we didn't. Oh, he might be struggling to pressurize if we hadn't found that one. Engine air on. APU air off. It's off. Packs on. They are on. Pressurization checked. Right. Oh yeah. Well, they're not all as easy as the Airbus. So that's not showing me anything. Pressurization is down here. Cabin differential pressure is now it's pressurizing. That's good stuff. Cabin altitude is already at 5,500 feet. We are passing 8,000 feet. It's just not. It's not registering that climb I want, is it? It just keeps accelerating again. VNAV? Is VNAV the right way to go here? Let's try VNAV. Well, it just says VS. I don't think it has a VNAV. Let's do... what do we reckon? 2,500 feet per minute? Same principle, press the control wheel steering button, set the VS and then let go, and it should try and remain in. That's it. Climbing in VS is known as very stupid because that's what VS stands for, because of course now we could lose airspeed. The airplane doesn't care, it's going to target that vertical speed. We need to set standards. 1013, 1013. Oh, excuse me, and don't do this. X-plane. There we go. 1013. So that's all looking good. Oh, let's change this side to RNAV as well. There we go. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. I like having that. It's 10,000 feet. Let's get the landing lights off. Seatbelts off. Runway lights off. I think we've done it. Check IS and selected out. Ah, look, it's done it again. Is that why? Why did it do that? You will saw me set 22. 22. Ah, yes. And then I want to arm out. But it just goes into out and then it resets where it is. I see. I don't know why, but I do see. Sure it wasn't that hard before. Alright, let's get that speed back. Our passengers will be feeling a little bit queasy after all this. Top Gun, thanks for your follow. Yeah, we're getting a climb out of it at least. FPS, yeah, I can tell you that. Avitab will tell us, won't it? Somewhere. 63, there you go. We have Orbex for most of the UK, so I think we're going to see Orbex scenery when we get over to London. I don't know how far north it goes. We're over France at the moment. Jersey back there. I like this light. Look at this. You can bend it all the way around as you see fit. I think we've got... Yeah, look. More lights. Oh, that's better. Looking for that one. Now we're going left. We're way off this now. So we can get rid of the Jersey charts. Done with you. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And we'll go to Newcastle. Room to arrival. Now we're going to Newcastle because I have a video coming out tomorrow that involves Newcastle. Talking about ILS charts in tomorrow's video. Finally. I've needed to do that for a long time. And what's the weather there? 20001. Yeah, so runway 25. It's their favourites. Sorry, Peter 4. Yeah, I did put an alert, but on Twitch, I don't know how to put alerts. So if you only follow on Twitch, I highly recommend you join the Discord at Peter 4. But good to see you, and thanks for coming along. Yeah, with Twitch, I haven't worked out how to set up individual streams. It just seems to let me choose to do a stream regularly, so every day at 5 PM or something. Danajel, for the long haul at 50k, it'll be a Concorde flight. It's the idea. You need to do a bit of studying. You probably have to arm altitude by the knob. I saw the button. Yeah, see, my concern here is it going to arm out? Will it do it because I've put it in that window? Oh, there it is. Brilliant. Oh, dear. This is really embarrassing. Right, see, as we're getting to 13,000 feet, it's just running out of steam. We're going too fast, so I'm going to sink. Control will steer. Let's go back to 250 knots. Thanks, Lo, for the follow. And it sounds like Schwig has put a fix. Is that for the Microsoft Flight Simulator? Was that for the TCS? So a few people have been having the twitchy problem. So thanks to Schwig, I'll have a look at that. Yep. That's in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay. Chris Lewis says, I always like this channel to cheer me up a bit. One of my workmates died today and I feel bad for him. Thanks for doing what you do. Well, you're very welcome, Chris. It's my pleasure. And sorry to hear that. That's obviously awful. So, yeah, I hope you've got people around to support you through that. Because that's not, yeah, that's not a good day by any means. But thanks for coming along. And I hope we can, yeah, give you an enjoyable flight while you're here. Oh, there's the brake gauges. Yeah, so yellow and green system. This is where I should have been looking. Right. 15,000. Looking good. Are the engines overheating or anything crazy? No, everyone seems happy. We've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1,200 kilograms. We used 1.2 tons of fuel. So we've basically used up our center tank, and now we're burning on those outer tanks. this could get embarrassing if we do actually run out. So we've got 6 tons at the moment. A little bit more. Thanks, Mick, for the follow, and Oru. Sorry if I missed anything on the chat. That was quite busy there as I tried to, to solve my own created problems, so I do apologise. We are in X-Plane today, Mikalesh. Concorde flight should be epic. Lots of dials, says Brian. Yeah, well, we hope so. Ruby King says, I don't think this can be done on Twitch. People will get notification as soon as you go live if they have them enabled. You cannot pre-file a stream. Right, there you go. Thanks, Ruby King. I thought so. So yeah, if you're on Twitch, make sure you have notifications turned on if you'd like to be notified. I think if you're using an app on a phone, you'll need to turn on notifications for Twitch. And I assume you can choose which streamers you want notifications from, and then it should just give you a ping when I go live. Just seems to be the way Twitch operates. Twitch seems to rely on more regular streaming compared to YouTube. Tilly Will, good to see you. Alright. We are still climbing, getting slower. Let's get that speed back a bit. So we're barely doing 0.5 on the Mach meter. We're hoping to be doing 2.0 soon, or 2.2, isn't it, Concorde? There we go. Just raising that nose a bit more. Marcel Dupree, good to see you. Marcel says, is this the same Whisper jet that used to fly from London City? I had no idea they were so complicated to fly. Of course, we're supported by the Airbus. Great stream, though. Thank you. You're welcome, Marcel. And indeed, this is the London City, famous London City aviating machine. Okay, I won't keep climbing. There we go. Yeah, no, we are treated by the Airbus, and this is not an Airbus. But there are things that were transferred across. You can see it. The green and yellow hydraulic system. Some of these rotary switches, funnily enough, have ended up straight in the Airbus, although I know they're quite a common design in airliners. And there was something else I spotted earlier. But yeah, the obvious one is the hydraulics, green and yellow. Because I think the Boeing just goes on 1 and 2, doesn't it? I have to ask Flight Lecture Sim. I'm not on Iveo, I'm on Vatsim, Mikolaj. So I can see other aircraft at the moment. Jonathan Gunthauser, good to see you. Jonathan says, hello, hope you're all doing great. A bit late, flying myself in Switzerland right now in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Excellent, enjoy that. Thanks for joining us. Orbiter in Chief says, excited for Sim Update 6 next Tuesday. List of fixes looks good. Good, yeah, apparently they're getting rid of the toolbar icon showing up all the time. Michael Calder, thank you so much for your $7.99 Australian dollars. Excellent, thanks so much, Michael. Really appreciate it. Michael says, hey mate from Oz, never really get to see these live, but try to catch up. Keep up the good work and have a coffee on me. Thank you so much. I'll do exactly that. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, and great to have you here live. It's a it's always a perk of streaming at different times, because I know I'm in a bit of a routine with the streaming times. So great to see you here, and thanks so much for that very kind donation. Really appreciate it. And it must very much be early morning, or it can't be late night, can it? Is it just late night? Very, very early morning. But thank you, Michael, and I'm glad you've been enjoying the streams, and thanks so much for the very kind donation. I would indeed have a coffee. Really appreciate it. Lauren V says, BAE was part of Airbus during the design of the A300, which happened around the same time as the 146, probably why there's commonalities. Yeah, there you go. It's funny how these things transfer across. Toolbar icon and the mouse bug should be fixed. Oh, thank goodness. The mouse bug drives me mad when streaming. Yeah, really not much fun. Not much fun at all. 5:50 AM, says Michael. There we go. So it must be the morning shift. I'm glad you made it. Excellent. Yeah, I visited Australia once. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait to go back. I've been so glad that I went. because when it you know, for so long we haven't been able to go, and we still can't really go because I think you have to be locked down if you come from the UK. I think you still get quarantine time. But I remember when I was there, I gave up trying to work out what the time was in the UK. just assume it's the wrong time. Jonathan says, tonight the sky is pretty nice here in Switzerland, flying in the PC6 Turbo from Milvis. Ah, is that good? I've seen that talk about that one going around. Yeah. Now this is an interesting one, which is it's quite hard to judge. We're 77 miles away from Avant. But how could I find out how close I am to the airport I'm going to? Things like that. Progress page, probably. To the top of climb, 10 miles at 15:20. Remember, I've actually removed the time. I was going to do real-time flight, and then I thought, no, because it would be pitch black, and pitch black streams that never seem to... Yeah, it's a bit frustrating looking at a black screen on a phone or something, so I decided not to. Right, here we go. This is the important one. Destination, EGNT, Newcastle. It's 220 miles away. So we've got about 100 miles. We only need about 70 or 80 miles to descend, actually. Plus, we're going the long way around to do the RNS. So I'd say we need to be descending in around about 120, 140 miles. So we got a bit of time, actually. But it's taking us a fair old way to get up to 22,000. Probably not worth it. Should have just cruised a bit lower. Mikolaj says, do you like Poland? I love Poland. Yeah. GD says, in real life, how many planes can a commercial pilot be certified to fly? You can only fly one at a time, but of course... yes, right, you can only do one at a time, but you can fly families. So 380, 350, 330 and 320, 777, 787, these sorts of things you can fly both. Michael says, borders open into Sydney from November the 1st and no quarantine for those double vaxxed. Is that true? I didn't realise that. I thought there was still a quarantine. So that's good news. Is that Sydney? Because I know Australia has different rules for different parts. It's got its states, and they're quite different on the rules they're applying. Michael Calder says, is this the BAE FMC or the default? This is the BAE one. And you have the option up here. I won't click on any, but you can choose no, default, custom. So this is the custom one. Yeah, and it's very good. We're definitely doing a QNH landing. And should we do a flap 24, which is what we took off with? 33. I feel like 24 would be more normal. Anyway, maybe we should do that a bit later. Getting ahead of ourselves. Let's actually level off. Carbon airplane, you can do it. Peter 4 says, turns out I did get the alert, just didn't look at my phone in a while. That's very good, very healthy. Normally I put more notice. Normally I'd put this up on the Discord about a day before, but this is a bit of an impromptu one. Jonathan Gunthauser says, it's an interesting plane to fly. This is talking about the PC... Is it PC7? Already forgotten. PC6. It's an interesting plane to fly for sure, but kind of difficult to find some power tables. At least I didn't find one, so I'm pretty much eyeballing it. There's no problem with eyeballing it. I'm sure that'll be absolutely fine. That's basically what I'm doing here. I think this is an okay takeoff thrust. Sorry, climb thrust. Mark ascents, high, low. Not sure what that is. Dan J. Stretch, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. That's very kind of you. Dan J says, thanks for always being a great host with good conversation. Also great to hear that you're flying again. Thanks so much, Dan J. Great to see you here. Yeah, I know you've been coming to lots of the streams, so really appreciate it. And I'm glad you've been enjoying them. And yeah, it's been great to be back in the air. Reminds me how much I like the job, actually. So yeah, it's been great. I haven't done as many streams and videos as I would have hoped in the meantime, but that's because there's been quite a lot going on in the background, more of which you'll find out about tomorrow. And then a few other things that you guys already know about. But yeah, there's been a few little projects going on. plus a bit more flying, which is great news. But thanks so much. Really appreciate it, Anna. Very kind of you, and I hope you're doing very well. And thanks for joining us today. Thomas Gray says, have you seen that the A380 for British Airways is being operated to Frankfurt and Madrid in November? Very cool to see it back in the air. It's great to see the A380 back in the air. Absolutely love it. So glad it's made it back. I didn't want to see it disappear. No way. There's 1,000 to go chime. That's good. It's working well. Flyboy, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. Keith Watt says, dear 320 Sim Pilot, enjoying the video, especially as you're flying my favourite aircraft. Excellent. I'm glad you're enjoying it. There's a turn. Problem with turns in underpowered airplanes is you lose some of your lift and the airplane runs out of puff to climb. Look at that. So we're trying to climb at decimal 5.5. For context, the Airbus could be easily climbing at decimal 7. Right through to 35. No problem. No point comparing it. Silly, silly. New FMS is good. T183. Yeah, it's here. It's worked. We put in the route. We put in the departures arrival. I failed the airways test, but the airways is always the trickiest part for me. But we did. Oh, we didn't put in the arrival yet, so we'll do that. Expecting RS25. Room to 1 November. And here they are. Lee, thanks for your subscription. And there you go. It says we'll look at the charts momentarily once we've leveled off. Just check it's all right. 500 feet to go. Finally. Time to go down in a minute. Keith says, when choosing the cruise level, would you base it on the semicircular rule? Absolutely. Yeah. So you're right. This should be an odd one. And I know what's happened here. We should have been at 190, but there was a reason to be at 22. I'm not sure why. So yeah, this should have been an odd flight level, shouldn't it? Because we're going sort of north-northeast. Come on, you can do it, airplane. So close. Nikolai says, imagine fly Boeing with Thrustmaster Airbus. Yep, that's what I'm doing right. Well, I'm flying the BAE with the Thrustmaster. I've flown 7.5 with it as well. I keep debating getting a yoke, but there's some good ones. Well, there's some new ones coming to the market, so I'm interested to try them out, really. Yeah, the yoke definitely appeals more and more. I just wonder whether it would be practical or not. There you go. Mikey says northbound airways like November 864 actually break the semicircular rule. So that could be it. Maybe we were using that airway. That's better. That's good knowledge. Peter 4 says, I'm waiting for the new version from Honeycomb. What are Honeycomb doing? Are they doing another yoke already? Okay, 50 feet to go. I want this FMA to go green. There it is, out green. VS to 0. We should be cruising at Mach 0.59. So pretty shortly we'll bring the thrust back, which is good because we are draining through fuel. Oh, actually we've got 6 tons left. So once we got up here, things got a lot better. We were really going through that fuel low down though. It was surprising how fast we burnt that initial ton. So just let it accelerate first. Yeah, is there a new Honeycomb already? A revised version of the Alpha. Amazing. More like a version 1.5. Interesting. Okay. Keith says, I used to control Newcastle Tower on that sim, but had to give up that sim due to work. Ah, that's a shame, yeah. Oh, well, we'll see. I don't know if there's going to be a controller there today. No, I think not. Nope, not for now. Wonder if we got contrails. Nope. Tiny little engines. Such a good visual model. Really, really like it. This is where I wish X-Plane had the drone. I could have some good fun with this airplane and a drone camera. Just looks great from any angle. I think the 300 is definitely my favourite. As with most aircraft, the bigger versions always look a bit better. Thomas Gray says, currently on holiday in Kos. There were a few diversions to Rose and Athens. Winds were 15, gusting 33. Yeah, some airports, those winds aren't too strong, but if you're some airports have notorious terrain nearby that could cause problems for that. See the drain mast. I'm assuming that's a sink drain mast from the front. And there's another one at the back. Yeah, excellent. Miklos doesn't like the engine sounds. Fair enough. Yeah. Right. Thrust back a tiny bit. Oof, getting a FPS drop there. We're down to 25 now. Could be that Orbeck scenery loading in. 81% should be fine. Alex, I won't be in the VATSIM Cross the Pond event next weekend, I'm afraid. Jonathan Gunther has just received a mail telling him that should receive tomorrow the Bravo throttle. Wow, very nice. That does look like a good piece of kit. Valeria says, I really hope the A380 by Flybe will do the plane finally some justice. Yeah, me too. I really hope so. Flyboy says, would you recommend the BAE 146 for X-Plane? Well, it's up to you. If this looks like your sort of thing, if you like the 146, then yes, this is a really good replication. This is a good representation of it in a simulator. I really like it, no doubt, no problem saying that. And it's also a really good add-on for X-Plane. The thing to remember with it is, it's a basic airplane. It's not a, you know, it's not even a 737. It doesn't have all of the same features. You've got to get used to looking at this sort of a picture. But if you're happy with that, then yeah, it's great. Really good. X camera by Stick and Rudder Studios is very good and has a drone type mode, says Andy Digital. Thank you very much. That's something to consider, definitely. Just write that down. Sean says, I really love the BAE 146. We get one in at work a few times a week to pick up and drop off people working in the mines in the north of Canada. Amazing. I didn't know they were flying them up there. Excellent. There you go, all around the world. I think it comes with some Canadian liveries. I couldn't stop myself using the Flybe one again. Oof, we are taking an FPS hit. Something's going on with my computer here. I'm going to experiment with the sounds. It sounds a bit different to how it used to, so I'm not sure I've got all my settings right. Thomas says, is there a lot of effort and time required into making X-Plane a decent sim? Thinking about making the switch from Microsoft Flight Simulator. The thing with X-Plane is, it's firstly X-Plane 12 is on the way, so whether it's worth buying X-Plane 11 at this point, it's getting harder to say that, because obviously if we know the new one's coming, why would you buy this one? Because it's not a cheap sim. The other thing with X-Plane is, we've said this right from when from Microsoft Flight Simulator launched. You know, if you want the graphics, you're not going to beat Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you want the aeroplanes, there are a lot of very good airplanes for X-Plane. But again, you've got to wait for it. X-Plane 12 to see how many are compatible, what transfers across, and so on. Where it gets a little bit more tricky these days. There's no release date that I'm aware of for X-Plane 12, and it's always hard to recommend purchasing a product when the new one has been announced already. And X-Plane 11's been around for a few years now, so it's in its last days. They're not really taking it. It's at version 11.5 something, and I don't know if it's going to go any further than that. Scotty Dotty Gaming, thanks for your follow. So, you know, if it was a case of, you know, X-Plane 11's £30 and it includes all the detailed airplanes you could want, fine. But it's a bit more expensive than that. It does have the Zebo mod, which is excellent. So if you like the 737, X-Plane has it covered already. And if you like the Airbus, it has it covered, but you've got to pay for it. They're payware. The good Airbuses are payware in X-Plane. Marcel says, I know X-Plane doesn't have the scenery, but I do love X-Plane. Everything just works. Yeah, there's loads of great things about X-Plane. There's no doubt about it. So many things have been thought out so nicely. And that's why, you know, I love using add-ons like this in it. Andy Digital says, you need to spend a lot of money to make X-Plane look visually good. Yeah, so I've got, you know, this is Orbeck scenery down there. And that's how I'm getting that sort of more photorealistic look. But that only covers part of the UK. It's gigabytes and gigabytes of data. And yeah, it's luckily, well, I say luckily, Orbex very kindly gave that to me on the channel to use for these streams and videos and so on. But yeah, it adds up. It does add up. Thanks for the subscription to Sean. And thanks for the follow to Ozguru. Flybe says, would you say that the Winwing stick is better than the TCA in the terms of price to quality? They're totally different markets, I would say. The Winwing stick has you've got to buy the grip and the base, and possibly as well a mount. You don't have to buy a mount, but yeah, a grip and a base. And yeah, it adds up to more money than the TCA, so, or certainly the joystick on its own, you know. So I don't think anyone would be shopping for one and choose the other, if you see what I mean. Yeah, it's more expensive. Peter 4 says, Phoenix Sim will help with that domain, I think. It shows FS 2020 can be used to make a proper study level plane. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And FS 2020 already has some. I would class the CRJ as, you know, a high fidelity plane. I think the CRJ from Aerosoft was very good. I also think the PMG DC6 sort of proves it. That's got some really great little features in it as well. What we're missing is just the stuff like the replay. They added the tyre smoke, which is nice, but you can't really enjoy it without the replay mode. So there's a few things like that, I think. But yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt Microsoft Flight Simulator can have high fidelity airplanes. Dizzy Floor is good for you. Thank you for your follow, and V2+10, thanks for your follow. And Digital says, Orbex True Earth looks better than Microsoft Flight Simulator photo scenery to me. It's 200 gigabytes though. Yeah, there you go. So some people prefer it, but it is a big chunk of your computer gone. I do like X-Plane's clouds as well. Stuff like that looks really nice. Yeah, Brandon, I agree. X-Plane default airports are awesome. That's another big plus. I talked about it in the X-Plane 12 video. The scenery gateway that X-Plane has, which allows anybody to adjust the airports, is brilliant, because it means that you can fly to almost any airport and someone's usually adjusted it to put the stands in the right place and so on. Steve says, are you using Enhanced Sky? Nope, this is default X-Plane through and through. Yeah, I always just use default. John, I use the experimental fly-by-wire version, but I haven't updated for a little while. What have I done wrong here? Have we just flown straight over? Newcastle's 182 miles. Why is it 00? It's in Elnav. It's going to Mogley. 10 miles away. This is a bit concerning. Mogley, Mammal, 1601. We should get to the top of the descent. Why have all our numbers disappeared? Let's hope that comes back to life. 8 miles. So there's a turn 011, which we're doing. It should turn to 332. Oh well, we'll check that. I'm surprised to see that all disappear. I'm sure it was working earlier. Flyboy says, can we get some wing views? Sure. Sadal says, I'm interested to see what the new flight model SDK will allow developers to do. Yeah, me too. Yeah, hopefully we'll get some smoke. They promised, or not, PMDG said that they'd add smoke to the DC6 engines when it was available, so I really hope we get that in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Oriv says, do you always do ILS landings when available in real life? Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes we'll do a non-precision, but if the ILS is available, it's usually what you'll take. And he says, once I cracked how to build ortho, then good scenery suddenly became a lot cheaper. I paid 40 quid for a 2 terabyte hard drive to store it all on. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. Those X-Plane users who make the ortho for the airports they fly into, they do have some very nice scenery. I do see amazing ones. Ricardo says, would you prefer more viewers on Twitch for now or YouTube? I don't mind. It's wherever people want to watch it, really. Yeah, I really don't mind. 1903 says, watching back, I don't think I've ever taken a departure turning left from 26. Bennix in this case, usually AUTAC. Weird. Yeah, no, I would agree. I was a little surprised at that departure, but that's just what SimBrief came up with, so I wasn't going to argue. Lauren V says, meanwhile in America, we always give a visual by default. Yeah, America likes a visual approach. Yeah, definitely. Jayla says, do you get the choice of what type of approach you'll fly IRL? I thought ATC told you what you were getting and it was a take it or leave it. Air traffic will tell you. They'll tell you what approach is in use. So if the ILS is available, it's usually that. And then if it's not, they might say, so the RNAV's available. And you might say, I don't want to do an RNAV. I'd like a VOR if there is such a thing at that airport. And that's totally fine. Yeah, no problem there. So they'll tell you the one in use. Requesting another one's fine normally. But if you want, let's say you go somewhere and you want to practice an RNAV. Simply George, thanks for your follow. Yeah, let's say you want to practice your RNAV, then, and Dizzy Floors if I didn't say as well. You want to practice your RNAV, so you can just say to them, we request the RNAV. And they might say, yeah, that's fine, okay, expect the RNAV approach. And then they might also say, no, we're too busy and we have to give you a different routing, so it's not going to work. So no, ILS, or a delay. They won't deny you an approach. Like if they had the time, sorry, if you said, oh, well, I can't do an ILS, my ILS's receiver's broken, then they'd have to give you the RNAV or whatever else you ask for. So they will do that, but they might say, if you're just doing it for the fun of it, not for safety reasons, they might say, well, yeah, you can have the RNAV, but it'll be a half-hour delay. And then you're going to say, okay, we won't do that. Marcel Dupree, thanks so much for your £2 super chat. That's very kind, Marcel. Marcel says, so appreciate your channel. Thank you. You're very welcome. Thanks so much for being so generous and for joining us again today, Marcel. I hope you're doing very well and great to have you here. And Dave Hughes, thank you, Dave, for your £4.49 super chat as well. They're very kind. And yeah, if I've missed your message, I do apologise. But thanks so much. Really, really appreciate it. So thank you, Marcel and Dave. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's very, very kind. Dave says, thanks so much for all the content. It's brilliant. You're very welcome, Dave. I'm glad you like it. Really appreciate it, guys. They're very generous. SK Sun says, it's the pilot that flies the plane and is responsible, not air traffic control. That's it. The buck stops at the pilots. Chris says, I'll take ILS any day. I can use all the help I can get. Well, if you go to an unfamiliar airport especially, you definitely want the ILS. Yeah. Virtual Pilot says, hi, just watched your Windwing Airbus side-stick video. How are you finding it now that you have had it for a week? I haven't yet mounted it. I've now got a desk mount, so I'm going to mount it, Virtual Pilot, and then I'm going to do another video at some point looking at it. So I don't have much more to report at the moment. Been very busy with other things, but yeah, we will take a look at it soon. Dave says, I work on cruise ships but would prefer to be an airline pilot. Cruise ships are pretty cool though. Which part of the cruise ship are you involved with? Because they have basically every industry on board, don't they? They're massive, amazing. Peter says, do you think you'll ever be affiliate on Twitch, or it requires too much regularity? Yeah, I don't know. Certainly, what's the level above? I'm the most basic level, and then there's a level above. If we reach that level, we're not allowed to stream on both platforms at the same time. So that's where Twitch would be used for the sort of practicing and the DCS and other things, which it still is. Every now and then I'll do an extra stream on Twitch, but it does require a level of regularity. Yeah, there's definitely... They seem to punish you for not being regular enough with your streams. I didn't see any bills making Dublin Airport for Explain. No. Very nice. 1903 says, I keep commenting but never tell you how much I appreciate your content. Really well presented, and you're a gift to this community. You're a gift to the community. That's really kind, 1903. Thanks so much. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you enjoy the content. And it's the only reason I still do it is because people seem to enjoy it. So yeah, I love it, and I love doing these streams where we all just get to sit and chat. Really, really great. Ricardo says, cruise ships are awesome, the airlines of the sea. Yeah, very good way to put it. Dave Hughes is a deck third officer. That sounds very good. Officer of the watch. Right. So that obviously up on the bridge and everything. Fantastic. Very cool. There's no good ship simulators out there, sadly. Otherwise, I would load up a good ship sim and have you explain to me how I'm supposed to be doing it on a stream. But sadly, there just aren't any. Marcel Dupree says, I've been trying lots of go-arounds in the Flybe A320. Really good exercise for building confidence based on your tuition, of course. Excellent. Yeah, I've got a couple of go-around videos. I've got two, one for Microsoft and one for Explain. Nikolaj says, your setup. At the moment, using Thrustmaster TCA. My processor is an i7-10700K. My graphics card's an RTX 3080, 32 gigabytes of RAM. And I've got a Dell monitor. I have no idea what the name is, but it's really big, 32-inch monitor, which is an absolute gift when editing videos. I really like it. And I've got a second smaller 23-inch monitor, which is my old computer monitor. A330 fan just raided the channel with 13 viewers. Now this is a thing I didn't know existed until relatively recently. 13 viewers as well, so thank you very much, the 330 fan. Thanks for joining us. Lauren V says, would love 320 ship pilot, but we will have to wait till the 380 for that. There you go. Yep, there you go. Hi 330 fan. Thanks for coming along. Dave Hughes says, when we are in Southampton and Jersey, I often see planes coming into land, and then when we relocate in the Caribbean, St Martin is always fun. Yeah, very good. Yeah, up on the bridge as well. I imagine you see those. Now it's funny. Oh, there we go. It's back. 155 miles to go. Don't know what that's pointing at. So we haven't quite solved this RNAV dilemma. Let's go to progress. We're 125 miles from Newcastle, so it'll be time to descend shortly. I will just grab the weather, but before I do, yes, Southampton was actually almost where I streamed this flight. I was going to do Jersey to Southampton and then to Newcastle, but thankfully I didn't because it took us a good hour to get off the ground. AJ32X, thanks for your follow. I I also, some of you might remember, back in the past we did some hopping islands and so on. But we've not done that for a while. They don't seem to be, because you end up repeating, you know, you're in the same airplane. The turnaround's quite fun, but then it's just another flight with the same stuff. So they don't seem to flow as naturally as a flight, a single flight. Which is why we haven't done them for a while. And that no one's really asked to see them either. So I sort of have moved to the point where I don't know. So I try to do single flights, single sectors these days. Right, QNH 1022, Cavacay, 2 degrees. Oh dear, it's getting cold in the UK. Right, let's bring this up. Now, we're going to do, we said flap 24 landing. If I click that, it should move the bugs. 124 is our, sorry, 24 degrees, not 124. And we're going to have 132 knots on approach. That's the plan. Just to check the pressurization is holding. Cabin altitude 4,500 feet, 6 psi. Pretty good. It's below -20 out there. Fuel, we're doing well. We've got 5 tons of fuel. Excellent, that's plenty. Anything else we need to do? Rad out. Oh yeah, DH. So let's put that in on the rad out. Course is 26111.5. Now we're gonna have to swap out of RNAV. I'm sure it won't auto tune. I say that, I find out it will now. So let's put in the course. 2, 4, 6. 111.5. And I'm just going to swap it straight over. And the box 2. Let's put it in here as well. And then what I'm going to do, I believe, at some point, we'll swap over to heading, get rid of RNAV, and then put, as in swap this little button over, and then arm the approach. I think it should all work on the autopilot. I'm sure this plane needs a lot of thrust on approach, given the size of those flaps. A330 fan says, small question, do you have Vulkan activated in your sim? Yes, I do, absolutely. The only thing you lose out with Vulkan, obviously, is some of the rain effects go missing, which is a bit of a shame. Otter for Microsoft Flight Simulator will be great for island hopping, says 1903. Yeah, so for like a group flight, that's obviously different, and I think the Otter would be good fun for that. I hope that's coming soon. Yeah, island hopping and float plane. No, those are different. Okay, yeah, you guys have got me. You're absolutely right. We did have a lot of fun island hopping. We need to do that again. Mash says, right, now I've chucked it at the scenery. It's time to sit back and watch a pro do it. Well, I wouldn't get too excited. Well, his excuses then. So I'm flying this airplane for, well, since the last stream. I haven't landed it since the last stream, certainly. I just did a load up where I turned on the engines to make sure I could. Because it is embarrassing on a stream if you can't turn on the engines. Thinking back to the DC-6. But yeah, this may not go so smoothly. A330 fan says, mine seems unexpectedly crash when able. Ah, there must be something, maybe you got an add-on or a plug-in that's not compatible with Vulkan. Yeah. It's not below 15 in New England, says Lauren B. Oh, very good. Winter Ops, says Ricardo. Yeah, we're getting that way. Love to see more de-icing in Sims. I know the FS Labs does it. Right, let's look at these legs then. So we tuned that. Oh yeah, DH. Oh dear, getting distracted. 200. There it is. It's a height, so we'll take the little one. 200. Video tomorrow, we'll talk all about this sort of stuff. For those of you not sure about reading ILS charts, I'm going to do, it's a massive video, 40 minutes of charts. I look at 3 different charts and try and explain everything that I can read off them, including the Newcastle chart. It is procedural, but we're just going to do radar vectors. If we look at the legs, I wonder if it goes through it. Now there is a way. Is there a way to step through these legs? It would normally say step, but this is a custom F&C, so maybe not. So you can see it go ETSES and then it goes straight to CF. So what we're going to do is we're just going to connect those. So I'm going to delete the discontinuity. No, what have I done? That's not what I wanted to do. that going to work? Oof. Nope. Let's try. There we go. It says CF25. There we go. So now, again, there's no way it seems to pictorially show it, but we're going to head around from it says somewhere over here, head up to the CF, and then turn left and in. It's going to be quite a tight turn, so I might turn it onto heading and do it myself as we get closer. But in my video, I talk all about flying the full procedure. We could fly the full procedure using the VOR, using the NDB, and we could display the NDB needle. That's VOR, DME. Where's the ADF in this machine? Must be a way to show the ADF. There it is. Yeah, you can swap these needles around. Then you could track outbounds, but that's I'm trying to prove to you today that you don't need to do all that stuff in the 146. Now it's got LNAV, so we've just completed the line, got rid of this discontinuity. If we go to the progress page, we've got 107 miles to run. I think this is track miles and not direct. Is this track or direct? Does anyone know? That's a good. I could put the VOR in 11425. Let's put that in the standby. Let's swap it over actually. That is 87 miles. So we're 87 miles from Newcastle. So that's actually track miles. There you go, 105 track miles. From 22,000 feet. Times that by 3, 22. So that'd be 66 miles required. Plus about 10 to slow down. So 76 miles. So we've got a bit of time. We don't need to go down just yet. Go down around 80 miles. Track miles to go. But yeah, there's the DME, 85 miles out. Makes sense. Dougal, good to see you. Dougal says, apologies for missing this. It's one of my favourite aircraft, but I'm in another flight. Have fun. No problem, Dougal. Never, of course. And this was a very last minute stream. So thanks for coming along to say so. Yeah, I haven't got Orbex installed up here. I did have it. I wonder what I've done with it. Anyway, the frame rate is thanking us. We're back up to 40 plus. Ish. I don't know. 30. Almost 50k followers, says Ricardo. Yeah, we're very close. Peter 4 says, I keep having issues with my A320 autopilot. It's getting really annoying, especially during star approach. Oh, that's a shame. I haven't had too much trouble lately. Touch wood. Astro says, might be like Boeing. Line select to CF25 and then line select to Disco. Yep, thanks for that. That did work in the end. You're welcome, Dave Hughes. No problem at all. It is quite a long video. Ed Haslam, good to see you. Ed says, finally got around to watching one of your more recent live streams. It's good to be back. Yeah, great to have you back, Ed. I hope you're doing very well. Thanks for joining us once again. Ricardo says, dual stream on Twitch and YouTube has a higher workload, could result in harder than normal landing. There you go. That's another great excuse. I like it. So the dual stream. Dave here. Dave says, we were in Newcastle, North Shields during the second lockdown. There were a lot of movement as there wasn't enough space for cruise ships on the south coast. That must be, yeah, amazing what happened with all the cruise ships during lockdown, trying to fit them in, yeah. Swampflyer says, nice that you're flying into Newcastle today since Emirates returned earlier and the new Newcastle United owners are coming in tomorrow. Fingers crossed it's the 747 for us spotters. Very unlikely. Ah, could be, could be. Keith says, would love to have seen the flight during night time. Yeah, okay. I was very close to doing it today. But I didn't in the end. I just don't. Every time I do a flight at night in the streams, I sort of regret it. Because you do the replays and stuff at the end and you just can't see a thing. Or I certainly can't. On the, whenever because I sometimes use sort of my phone streaming YouTube so I can judge the audio at the end, which sounds ridiculous, but I use it to judge the music. So I have it playing somewhere else, not on the screen. Because if I play it on my computer, you guys will get an echo of the audio. It would loop. So when I do that and I'm doing a replay at night, I just can't see a thing. Yeah. Right, final then chat. Let's talk about Newcastle very briefly. It's quite straightforward. 3.4 is the overall MSA. We're going to go down to 3.5 as we're beam the airfield. And that's not what this procedure is telling us, by the way. That's me making it up. In fact, we should... Well, 3.5 keeps us safe as we're downwind within 25. And then we'll turn around and in, head down to the platform. Platform's only 2,000 feet. And then intercept at 5.4 miles. By that point, I want to be gear down and pretty much all the flap out. Get the speed back, remembering there's no auto thrust, so we've got to do the thrust ourselves. Get the nose down, and we're going to go for a slightly lower flap setting than normal of simply 24 degrees. Anything exciting about the approach? Flap limiting speeds, should probably check those. And we're coming back to 132 knots. Yeah, that's the point. Where are the flap limiting speeds? They're usually placarded somewhere on modern airliners. That's the compass swing results. Oh, here's Kevin secured. Should have had that one showing. I don't know where the flaps are shown. There's no marker on this. Nope, don't know. Right, how many miles have we got? MCP altitude. Ah, there you go. So it's giving us that message. Presumably we are close enough now. 73 miles. We're high, obviously. Let's go down to flight level 100s, where we nearly always start off at. And I'm going to go IS. Back comes the thrust. Down we go. Oh, it goes very quiet. I'm sure my sounds aren't set right. Pavel, good to see you. Pavel Koshov, hope you're doing well. And he says, my FO is on my desk now. Can't see a lot of the stream. No problem. Happens to all of us. Rob the Red Panda, thanks for your follow. Mikolaj says, can you make a video about the transponder, how to set CAB? Yeah, there's probably not a lot to say about it, but I could do a video about the transponder at some point, yeah. We are indeed in X-plane. Ibby chibby. Down we go. 53 miles from the VOR. We'll swap that over to the RS as we get closer in. Yeah, so we'll be downwind, max procedure. Well, we're not doing the procedure. We're going to sort of prove we don't need it. But yeah, vectors would be normally downwind in slowing to sort of getting below 200 knots on this turn. Don't know what the flat limiting speeds are. That's an oversight on my part, so we'll be a little bit conservative. Just try and search for them. Where are they going to be written? Usually somewhere around the display. Or maybe around the lever? Nope. How bizarre. Oh well. We'll be a little bit conservative. We won't get too slow. You can normally tell as the nose rises, but some airplanes will accept a high angle of attack and some won't. And for some reason this airplane doesn't look like it would accept a very high angle of attack, but I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm not on Windows 11. Mash says I've been pleasantly surprised. So normally I would just upgrade straight away. But on this, computer with the streaming, I'm not going to be I'm very risk averse, so I want stability. Now I'm annoyed because I have that assigned to my speed brake. For some reason, it's not working. So look at that. But there's that fantastic rear air brake on the 146. Really effective, but I don't know why it's not registering with my TCA. I do have it assigned. Not going to fiddle with it now. Look at that vertical speed. Incredibly effective. We're 42 miles away to get 12,000 feet. I mean, we're just low. It's amazing. So let's go vertical speed. Looking at 1800 feet per minute. Bit of thrust on. We'll head down a bit more leisurely. There we go. A bit more comfortable for everyone's ears. Yeah, Peter Ford, no, it's an amazing air brake. And I think we're supposed to put it out for the approach. Done that. Oh. Don't look. Yeah, all done. Definitely all done. So, PTU should be on. Okay. On. Pressurization set. Briefing complete. Ice protection. Landing data checked. Bugs set. Flap 24. 132. That's all done. Approach. So we're going to go on to Q&H shortly. Let's do that now. So we said 3.5, which is going to be safe. Oof, that scared me. I don't like seeing things freeze ever. 3.5. And we'll go on to the Q&H as we do that. (1022). Just going to wind that vertical speed back a bit, so a bit of control steering, raising those. There we go. 1022, 1022, and where's it gone? Where's it gone? There it is. 1022, all the way over there. Excellent. It's a little arrow or something. No. Jonathan Gunthauser, thanks so much for your $25 tip. Really appreciate it, Jonathan. Jonathan says, because we are arriving both almost at the same time at our respective airports. What a coincidence. Thanks so much, Jonathan. Really very kind. I hope you're doing very well. Thanks so much for that very kind donation. Really appreciate it. You've been far too generous with the channel over the last few months. So yeah, very kind. And I'm glad, yeah, we synchronized the flights then. Sun's going down here as well. Speed's washing off now. A bit of thrust in. Timerton and QNH are done. But yeah, thank you very much, Jonathan. Really very kind. Lights and notices. So seatbelts can come on now. Let's just put all the lights on. There we go. APU. Do we need the APU for the approach? I suppose for performance reasons, maybe. I'm going to say no. Brakes are auto. Fuel panel, I've left it all on. We've still got 5 tons of fuel. Yeah, it's been much more efficient in the descent, certainly. Cabin notify. Rad out cross checked. Set 200, and it should turn on as we get lower. I suppose we should set both of them to 200. There we go. For landing, AC pump auto on, gear, brakes, yellow check lights, flaps, cabin. So it doesn't mention it there. I'm sure I'm supposed to be using the speed brake. But if I was sure, I wouldn't be questioning it. So I'm not sure. Because they're using it into London City. Are you supposed to use it on a normal approach as well? The reason you'd use it is to get the thrust up so that you're ready for a go around normally. Thanks, John. John Knowles says, online info for 300 series say approach speeds, flap 24, 160 knots, 33, 102. Very good. So that's close enough. We were 24, we got 132. So that must be the stall, which would make sense here. Yeah, the V2. Well, what's the limits? Eboss says, on how many types are you currently rated for in Flight Sim Land? Just wondering. Well, not many. Today I'm proving when I couldn't even find the on button. But airplanes we fly, we've got the DC-6, 757, but that's been a while. 737-200, that's been a while. 737-800, that's been a while. Beluga, obviously the 321, the 320 NEO. We have flown the A300, but not for a while because I prefer the Beluga, I must confess. Goodness me, are there any others? The CRJ we have flown, it's been a while. I need to get back into that. I feel like there's another airline X-plane I'm missing. Obviously the 146. Yeah, it's quite a lot, isn't it? Plus the general aviation. AC445 says we used to have the BAE 146 more commonly in Canada, and Nova used to operate them. Very nice. AC455 says, Captain, some of your type ratings are up for renewal. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Right. Newcastle's right in front of us, so I put that to VOR. Oh no, it's not. It's only a DME. It's 18 miles away. I think it's just over here, just on the other side of the river. AC pump auto on. We'll finish that one as we configure. Oh well, we'll forget the speed brakes. Flaps, indicator center panel, says Mr. Swede. Yeah, we got the indicator, but it doesn't give us the speed limits. The A320 does indeed have auto trim. Captain Geo, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yes, 757 with the RB211 should return with Carter Joel's excellent mod. Yeah. Yeah. Right, 1,000 feet to go. So we're going to do level off. This is not going to be very efficient, but we are back at 250 knots, so we're sort of in the right speed and the right place. We're just a bit low as we head downwind. Let's tune for situational awareness. We're cheating with the chart, so here we're flying straight to the centre fix, but if we do, it's going to be a really tight turn in. So let's put the NDB 352 up. I should have done this earlier. That's down here for some reason. So this won't give us a distance, but we can use it to point at the airfield. So 352. Then I'm going to click this needle to NDB. So that's over there. Great. So now I'm going to go, let's put the heading bug in the right place. And let's go into heading modes. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, that's because the heading bug's up here. Yeah, the heading bug's white. Mysteriously hidden. So let's put that background. Let's head. Let's go slightly right of where we're going. Let's go downwind 050. I didn't press out arm, so we've gone below 35. So let's sort that out. Let's not go any lower than 28, please. So it's in VS. Hopefully if we do that, that will stop. Right. We're going to go back up to 3.5 without arm. Yeah, that's my fault. And that's the ridiculous thing about designing an airplane where you have to arm the altitude capture. Of course I want to level off there. That's where I've put it. Let's get the thrust on. Don't want to lose too much energy as we climb back up to 3.5, which is the safe. We are visual, so we're okay to go down a bit lower, but still not what we said we'd do. So let's get back to 3.5, head downwind. Maybe getting the speed back's going to help us out now. Bernard says if you get back down under, good to see you again, Bernard, by the way. And Bernard says if you get back down under to continue your exploration, Qantas and Cobham both still fly the 436 routes. Ah, yes. Yeah, we must go back down under. No, very good point. Right. 3.5, we're level. Let's now swap over from RNAV to NAV. There's the course bar, 246. So that's good. The ILS is ready. We're 8.5 miles out, and the NDB shows that we're flying effectively downwind. Passing a beam in the airfield, somewhere back there. Now we just need to work out the flap limiting speeds before we stall. I think we'll go for the first stage here. Out they come. Start adding the power. Good stuff. Localizer flag showing because we're pointing the wrong way. We're going to head out over the sea. And this side we are safe down to 3,000. So let's do that. And we'll go. Let's go. IS out arm. Down we go. Power back a little bit. Flat limiting speeds of the 200 says Wild Womble. Excellent, thank you. So flaps 18 to 10. Oh, so we are a little bit fast. Flaps 24 is 180. Okay, so quite fast then. Cam A321, good to see you. Cam says hello. Hope all's well and you're flying plenty. Enjoying the beautiful Airbus. Yeah, absolutely, Cam. Good to see you again. I hope you're doing very well. Thanks for coming along. 200 feet to go. We'll level off. Dave Hughes says the livery looks good. Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? Keith, what? Says try parking on stand 2. Will do. We'll go for stand 2. I think I know where that one is. We are still storming along, so definitely we can slow down a little bit. Leveling off at 3, which is good news. Power back a bit. Maybe that's what these bugs are set to automatically. 12 miles out. Time to turn round and in. So we'll go for a beam. So 330. At 200 knots. Get the thrust on. Oh, you can see the roll spoilers going up and down. That's good. Right. 200 knots pointing in. That seems fine. Time to press. Does anyone remember which button it is? Ah, the flaps didn't really travel. Okay, I need to sort out where my lever is set to. It's obviously not calibrated properly. So there comes the drag, and you see the speed washing off straight away. And we balloon right up out of 3,000 feet. Anyway, we need to start pointing in, because we're going through the localizer now. 12 miles out, 3,000 feet, which is fine, but we need to arm the approach. Is it GSL? That's Vorlock, so that should be localizer, but that's, and then glide slope after that, I have a funny feeling. But I think we have to be on the localizer for that to work. We've got a flag. I don't know why we have a flag. We're set to now. Oh, I'm still on the VOR. That would explain it. Right, there's Vorlock then. There's a localizer there. That's good. Luckily the VOR was set to the same course when I had it set. And now I'm hoping I can get glide slope. Or have I missed it? Is there something else we need to press first? We can do it in vertical speed if we need to. Yeah, it is a weird howl, isn't it? Very Halloween-y. So why can't I get the glide slope to arm? I'm sorry, everybody. I shouldn't have to keep asking you all these questions. I do apologise. But it's good to test out your brain with other airplanes. So descending should be from here. That's not worked. So we're going to go to vertical speed because it's not doing it. Get the nose down. Idle that. It's going to be high workload soon. Let's put the gear down. Doing 1,000 feet per minute, so that should catch us to that glide slope. Get the next stage of flap out. So we're going for 24, which is somewhere there. 1,000 feet per minute should catch that glide slope from above gently. Don't know what I've done wrong there. Slowly gaining the glide at 1,000 feet per minute. All excuses. Yeah, I think we've done the excuses. So doing 2 streams at once. My glide slope mode's not working. I haven't landed the 146 for ages. Sun's in my eyes. Sun's in my eyes. Perfect. I mean, that's the easy one. Can't find the sun visor. Right, power coming back on then, or we're going to get slow. The glide slope's passing through us now, so I'm just going to adjust that vertical speed. Somewhere there, and gear down, brakes yellow and off, lights as required, flat set for landing, cabin secured, ice, APU, engine, TMS. Good. Oh well, let's see what we can do, hey? Doesn't need too much thrust. This one I'm pretty sure you have the speed brake out. I think I've got too much power on. Sorry, not enough power on. There we go. So we're going with a relatively low landing flap today. We are on the glide slope at least in vertical speed mode. I'm sure the approach mode works, but I'm obviously not set it up properly. No, it's just not interested. Unless it's a different button. Maybe you have to intercept from below, maybe it won't accept it from above. Right, autopilot's coming off. So we're a bit fast and high, so power coming back. I would turn the flight, well, let's turn the flight director off. 2 whites, 2 reds, that's too much vertical speed, so let's get that sorted. Yeah, actually it does, oh, it's a bit out of trim because we're a bit fast there. Back to the datum vertical speeds. 50% power, that's normal for the Airbus, but probably a bit low for this aeroplane. Sinking a bit fast there. Yeah, that's too low. Come on.
200.
That's definitely too low. Shouldn't be flying along like that. There we go. Back to it.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Trickling the power off. There's touchdown. No reversers to engage, so we'll just idle those engines and probably get on those toe brakes. Oof, they are quite... oh no, that's the nose wheel steering biting. I think we're going to roll to the end. Right. That was not a great final approach. Definitely need to practice those again in this. Lesson there. Stop twitching.
Welcome to Newcastle.
Thanks very much, Jesse291. We are currently occupy the runway. We should have probably announced that on approach, but thanks very much. Thanks for flying along. 75 and the fancy landing gear. We didn't feel that at all. There we go. Yeah, it's that's the first time I've used that flap setting. We definitely need to practice that final approach. Just it runs out of energy quickly, you know. It as you'd expect, really. It's got a lot of drag to it. Right, let's get ourselves off the runway. I need to sort out the thrustmaster as well. Utterly Butterly says, Ed, there we go. We got away with it. No one needs to know about the final approach if you get a smooth touchdown. Passengers won't know. No one following us, so we got all the time. So thank you all for flying along. I've really enjoyed it. I can't believe it's 10 o'clock at night. I thought I'd be finished much earlier. But there we go. I'm back to struggling to get it moving. Let's get those flaps in. At least we did have the right flap setting for landing. So that felt quite comfortable, but I think you put the speed brake out and have the engines revved up a bit higher normally. Why it wouldn't do the glide slope is another mystery. You have to do a bit more digging. No doubt it's something I've done. Is that lift spoilers press to cancel a bad thing? That's probably in case they come up on their own. The Dash A had a similar sort of thing. Hence you've got a button there you can push. Glad you enjoyed it, Steve. Thanks for coming along. But no, Bernard, I don't know much about that button, I'm afraid, in this exact airplane. So, well, we're not, let's go and squeeze next to the EasyJet then, shall we? So let's get the lights to taxi. Got the flaps coming up. I suppose we could run the after landers, but that's going to be hard to do whilst doing this. Air brakes and spoilers in. Ah, I didn't deploy them, did I? But then I haven't got the axes assigned. Anyway, flaps are up. Lights and strobes. TMS, radar, transponder. That can go. That's transponder. Engine anti-ice we didn't use. All continuous. Air conditioning. We're on the packs. Generators, engines. Ah, engines. It's interesting it says that. So maybe it will be normal in the 146 to shut down some engines on the taxi in. Paddy, good to see you. Paddy arrived in time for the landing. Excellent. Oh, that's not good. All bakes of scenery here. Very good. I do like their Newcastle. It just looks fantastic. And it looked great on approach with the sun on the runway. The different textures they use really, really stand out. Chris Patton says, great flight. Thank you. Off to Houston, Boston baseball game this evening. Enjoy that. And thanks for coming along. You're welcome, Astro Drew. Ah, worry lads. No worries. I'm sure we'll be streaming again soon enough. Marcel, glad you enjoyed it. We will get a replay today, of course. This is X-Plane, so we get the full-on replay. Look at that. See, with the right payware, or not in payware, with the right scenery, and add-ons. This is a great sim, no doubt about it. Let's go park over there. Actually, with the jet bridge, no we won't, we'll park over here. I think that makes the most sense, seeing as we wouldn't use a jet bridge on this. Santiago says, I took my first 320 flight yesterday, it was so nostalgic. Excellent! There we go, lights should be off. Not sure where you would judge the centre line in this machine. Oh yeah, pretty much not far off it. Look at that, all the different textures on the stop and the asphalt. Love it. Parking brake set. Oh, I know what we haven't done. We haven't started the APU. Let's get that up and running. That was bad. We lost the hydraulics, so the brakes went. It's really important on the Airbus when you set the brake, you check it, and then you check the pressure on the actual brakes down here. Yeah, there you go, yellow, 3,000 psi. Really important because that exact reason. What if the system fails and you just start rolling forward? Let's get the APU gen online, which we have. Let's shut down some of these engines. And there we go. Welcome to Newcastle. 8455 says some airports will give you a jet bridge. Very nice. I didn't know that. Astrodew says, funnily enough, I actually have flown to and from Newcastle in a RJ with CityJet. Excellent. Lucas says, hello sir, I remember seeing you advertise a PDF for beginner flight sim players, but can't remember the name of it. Any chance? Ooh, I can't remember right now. Join the Discord and I'm sure someone will be able to help you out. The Discord is just the place for that sort of information. Michael says, will this plane come out for Microsoft Flight Simulator? I think I remember you saying something about that. Ooh, I don't think I've said that. Unless there's been some news about it. Right, disconnection from VATSIM. Thank you to our colleagues for flying along. And let's jump into the replay. This is, see, we need this in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's too good. Right, let's see what happens. So we got low, we know that. And then, over the threshold, we're sort of in the right place by now. I know the pappies are showing a bit low, but that's okay. This is all pretty normal. Nose is quite high because we use that lower flap setting. Into the flare. I left the power on and just gently started squeezing off the power there. And these shock absorbing landing gear with the trailing link, it's called. It's where the hinge point's in front of the wheels. So instead of just the shock absorbers soaking in, it actually sort of hinges. These are famously nice to land on, and pilots love them. They absorb some of the worst landings very nicely. So it makes it quite easy to get a really nice landing. So yeah, not to say that was a really nice landing, that was fine. But yeah, as we talked about, the final approach definitely needs to be a little bit better. I need to go back into my old videos to see whether I should be using that air brake or not. There we go. Oh, I know why it's missing, because I had to reinstall, that's why. So yeah, the air brake I have assigned to an axis, but obviously not done properly. Yeah, Peter4, yeah, exactly. No, it is an interesting setup, but it does work well. Thanks, H455. Thanks for coming along. See you next time. Ah, was it the Guide to Flight Simulator? Yes, from SoFly. That was they sponsored our video a little while back. Yeah, the Muffin. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. Thanks. Right, coming up next. You all know what time it is. Which view do we want? What should we do? That one or that one? Nah, just look at the engines. I quite like the engines. So, it's that time of day. It's end of the stream. Thank you all for coming along. Really enjoyed it, as ever. Officer R, thanks for your subscription. And thanks to Swad and the Muffin for your follows. Matty as well for your subscription, if I didn't say so. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, as always. We'll have a big video coming out tomorrow, the ILS charts, where I go through several different airports and look at different ways of running the approach in an ILS, and hopefully answer some of your questions about those sorts of charts. That is the final sort of chart video I wanted done before I can do the VATSIM one, which I am working on. I promise, Richard V. I'm sorry it's taking so long. I've written out a plan, but that's as far as I've got with that one. But the charts video coming soon. And yeah, some exciting stuff that I've been working, or that's been going on in the background that I can talk to you tomorrow about. So yeah, do check out that video, and I'll be putting it in the Discord, of course. Also, more live streams to come, obviously, when we can get them in. They might be on a little bit more short notice for a little while, but then they'll go back to the normal sort of 24 hours notice. We're going to get in the Airbus soon enough, and we've got, obviously, some exciting new things, such as the Toliss A320-600. Very excited about that. So, what I'm going to say now is thank you so much for coming along. Thanks to the moderators for taking the time out of their day to come and keep us all safe and well. Thank you to those who very kindly donated. Really appreciate it. It makes a big difference, and it's very kind of you, very generous. Thank you to those watching along at home. Thanks to those of you chatting in the comments, and those of you just watching without chatting. Appreciate it all. If you did enjoy the stream, do please leave a like on the way out on YouTube. That does make a big difference to the channel. And yeah, Richard V. And then from, I do apologise. And yeah, we'll see you again next time. So please keep safe and well. Enjoy your evening. Bye bye.